Hi everybody and welcome to Fly Palmy Arena. This, well, court of dreams I suppose you could say. The kids love playing on it, boys and girls, and a wonderful game coming up. Central Southland College, Opukanke High School, A-grade champions of the last 2 years. Central Southland College, Andrew Horrocks, for them a new team, new to this place. How big would it be?
It's just spectacular. I remember my first time here at secondary schools, and you hear about it, you hear people talking about it on the commentary about what a wonderful experience it is, and until you get here and you see those 9 courts behind us that are going on at the same time, you can't quite imagine it, can you?
Andrew, in my day, I was terrible, but it doesn't matter. They let me in, and the thing about the national championships, you get to see the players of the present, not just the future, the skills levels that I've seen in the last couple of days, the welcome that we got, the Deputy Mayor welcoming us, and of course, with a quote from Dr. Naismith, basketball doesn't build character, it reveals it. In the last couple of days, Andrew, you must have seen players, you must have seen teams that stepped up, that responded under awesome pressure.
Well, absolutely. You talk about your pre-tournament favourites as we have a look at the team list, Ben, if you want to get us underway of Opukanke High School.
Okay, Opukanke under Aaron Langton, assistant coach Eva Langton, down to 1925. That I may be of use to my country. Well, that's some intro. 0, Terokuta Winiata. 1, Christiana Bad. 3, Puki Tedidi Chase. 4, Luke Forsyth. 5, Bon Lord Almazon. 10, Lucas Meyer Hall. 11, Jaree Summerfield. 12, Christian Moyahu. Widamu Henry. And 13, 14, Harry Gibson, captain of the team. 15, Tainui Mihaka. And 2, Alexander Moss. Opukanke. They must be some sort of force at this level.
Absolutely, 2-time defending champions at the single A level. And then for Central Southland College, number 4, Benjamin Anderson. Number 5, Declan Shooten. Number 6, Blake Howes Collett. 7, Keys Cummings. 9, Jerome Tabang. 10, Mason Maguire. 11, Fergus Watson. 12, Archie Bryan. 13, Xavier Glover, and 14, Toby McGregor. Head coach Diane Newton, assistant coach Jamie Campbell, with manager Andrea Beggs.
Andrew, the nerves. If you were out there, would you be trying to stay calm? Oh, referees down there, Brock Harlem there on the left, and Jake Young. Jake, the capital, Brock from North Canterbury. Back to what I was asking you about. Would you be trying to stay calm? Would you be trying to ignore everything that's going on around you? Or would you be trying to take it in and breathe deeply of it? How would you approach it, Andrew?
Well, there's a reason we're up here in the commentary booth and not down there on the court. There's always nerves whenever you're on the showcase game on this main court that everyone's got to walk past. But we'll find the first quarter, there's those nerves. The team's a little bit nervy in their shots, maybe overshooting a little bit. As they wear into the game, they stop thinking about the surroundings. That's when they're going to calm into it, and the best basketball is going to take place.
So that's exactly when you want a coach of experience who's been there and done that, as head coach Langton has, to say, hey, guys, it's okay. You've got the skills. You know what we're about. Get out there and enjoy the moment. You don't want a coach that nuts off. And here they come, Opukanke, and over there, Central Southland College under Diane Newton, assistant coach Jamie Campbell. They're prepared. They're as well prepared as they could be. And that's Jake Young with the ball for the tip. This place, you look at the ceiling, you look around you, resonates history.
Well, it's amazing the amount of finals that have taken place in this venue. I believe 2013 they brought it back to Palmerston North from Nelson. And ever since then, it's been almost a rite of pilgrimage, a rite of passage, Ben, as a secondary school player, if you get to play your nationals in this venue and be in one of those final games. With these teams, it's Thursday night or the double A's on Saturday.
Reminding me now, Opukanke, maybe their favourite son, one of their finest ever players, Dwayne Tamatea, former head coach of the Rising Suns, letting me know about it. Hey, you're commentating my old school, you bet. I wouldn't be anywhere else. Right here, right now, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Shout out to Tama as well, was head coach of the winning Taranaki under-23 team in 2022. Got to see him again this year at the under-23 finals, and one of the quickest brains to come up with a phrase I've ever met, Dwayne Tamatea, so shout out to him.
I'll tell you what, that man's done a lot for me over the years, and for Gisborne basketball, and back down there in New Plymouth. you know, a member of that incredible team which won them a Conference Basketball League championship, as it was the old second division back in the day, as the kids say these days. 13 for Central Southland College, Xavier Glover. They must feel, these guys at the moment, like they're playing at the Boston Garden, basketball's holiest cathedral. Opukanke, what are we waiting for as tension mounts, as tension builds? Is it the clock? Is it the scoreboard?
It is the clock indeed. The referee is just trying to get it down. It's stuck on 10:53. We need it on that magical one with triple zeros afterwards.
You take a deep breath. The deep breath before the plunge. Widemu Henry out there. He looks like an athlete. Look at the strong man. Look at Xavier Glover. Must be almost unbearable, the tension. Like you can't stand it. Jake Young man to be having to help the ladies over there adjust the clock. And the ever-faithful Brock Harlem, ball in hand.
Well, there's a big screen as well at the end of the court, and the score bench have just noticed that they're on it, trying to shield their faces from the cameras.
Well, they're very important. Without those people, basketball doesn't happen. No scorers, no basketball. No coaches, no basketball. No parents, no basketball. They need to be reminded of that sometimes, these players. And grandparents. You know, the demographic here, I think it's been brilliant, Andrew, all ages.
It's just superb. We saw Eva Langton there just before on the Opukanke bench. She was part of the Tokemono Queens, which won Tauihi League 2022. Runners-up in 2023.
So here we go. Time for Glover to get up. Okay, and wins the tip. So the first possession with Central Southland College at the Nationals on the big court.
Zone defense look here from Opukanke, and AM1 on that very first play.
Archie Bryan there to the basket. Down the baseline to the basket. Opportunity here for a three-point play. Made the call there. Did referee Brock Harlem.
One of the key players I saw this morning as he's about to take the Kuru Tautuku and converts.
I think it's wonderful we've got you here for the day, or to be honest, Andrew, I'm not very good. I'll be honest, stick my hand up right now and tell you I'm not very good. Opukanke. The first possession for them, Puke Te Chase.
And the tūrapa into the strong hands there of Xavier Glover.
Good board for him. Remember, he won the tip. A lot of the tip, as with rebounding, is to do with timing. Heard the whistle there again of Brock Harlem.
Might just be a shot clock error, trying to get that back to 24. Didn't reset properly.
It's very, it can be very technical sometimes, basketball, Andrew.
Oh, can I tell you what, there's more rules than probably books I've ever read in my life.
Jake Young holds the ball. He looks nonplussed at the moment. Has received instruction.
That's what you want. You want the men in the grey to be calm. Everyone else can be a little nervy, but they need to be calm.
Lakehouse Collett, he is the captain of our Central Southland College team. And for these guys, this is a thrill. They can say that they've been here, they've played on this court, they've made it. Well, they've made it this far. Get a win. That'd be something else. Ball now in the hands there of Archie Bryan, scored the first field goal.
Kuruwhiwhi Toru is short there. Tūrapa stays in the hands of Central Southland.
Okay, and here's a loose ball for Tainui Mihaka. At the moment, it's like a chorus. Bang a whistle, Brock Harlem.
Plenty of stops and starts early in this one. Might just be the shot clock playing up. But Ben, I can't believe the volunteers that we have at this tournament. 36 people on every round from 9 a.m.
They've loved it. I mean, we arrived this morning, ourselves and the cleaners, and they were scrubbing away. They wanted the place to shine. They wanted the floor to shine. That there is Brock Harlem. And he's just explaining what's happening here. A knowing smile. It all adds to it.
Okay.
The things you remember. You know, you remember the people that smile, the people that are friendly, the clock that didn't work properly, all of it.
Still just a bit of a stoppage here. We can see a few people just settling into the stands on the far side as
they've gone for some chips. Chips, that's what those faces were telling me, chips. And now with the inbounds pass, Tainui Mihaka. He will inbound. Puki Tereri Chase to take possession. Eventually.
Here we go.
Okay, here is Chase and brings the ball up over halfway. So no pressure at the outset from Central Southland College.
Man-to-man defense here from Central Southland.
Gibson, the shot is unsuccessful. Harry Gibson, the captain, down the middle there with the floater. Brock Harlem.
Tie up on the tūrapa means it's going to stay. Opukanke ball. And up and no good. Tūrapa comes the way of Jerome Tabang, and here comes Central Southland.
Okay, Central Southland, it's a big guy, Glover. Here's Brian. Down the baseline, they look quick. They are quick. Central Southland College.
All that in only 5 seconds off the shot clock.
Ball to be thrown in. Southland there with the inbound. Unfortunately can't make the shot there, Fergus Watson. Another whistle. I suppose, you know, to be honest, those mechanical difficulties, the gremlins and the machinery at the start, that can be unsettling for everybody, referees, everybody. But you've got to settle your nerves. You've got to try and bring them under control. Opukanke, gold and blue. It's certainly a striking outfit. Here in 14, Harry Gibson. Gibson, I thought he was going to shoot it. He thought about shooting it. Loose one again. Gibson goes after it. Glover with a great pass. Oh, great pass. They couldn't score on the first shot attempt. And now Opukanke have the ball. Opukanke, small place, big hearts. Opukanke held by Chase. Over there to Alexander Moss. Ball's loose. Central Southland College, just for a moment. Blake House-Collett almost had the steal. They'll throw the ball in from the side. Blake House-Collett, captain of Central Southland College.
Well, we're talking about horse racing prior to this one tipping off, and it feels like a horse race at the moment. Such a frenetic start.
Well, that's Archie Bryan, and he gets it to sit. I think he scored the first field goal, didn't he? Went to the free throw line.
Big kuruwhiwhi toru there on that attempt.
Opukanke. I can't wait to see them get into some sort of rhythm. I've never seen them play before. Know nothing about their style of play. Okay, the shot doesn't fall. That's a great pass. A lovely assist there. Widemu Henry.
Little bit of half-court trap there from Opukanke, and it's stripped and away they come.
Here's Chase. Chase bounce pass. Moss, no basket. Blocked by Glover. Great D there from the Central Southland College. Great defense. And just as quick to try and push the ball up the floor. Bryant trying to find a way around Harry Gibson. Three-pointer is off. It's an air ball. But I suppose from a certain point of view, Andrew, the worst has happened. You've shot it, air ball. It's done. I suppose after that, a shooter can settle a little.
Absolutely. That almost gets rid of a few nerves. And now he can ease into his game moving forward.
You can laugh it off. Here comes Chase again to the three-point line, guarded by Blake House-Collett. Here's Gibson, Harry Gibson to the basket. Gibson, again, it doesn't sit. Well, they get it their way, Opukanke High School. These officials have been very good in the last couple of days, I've got to tell you. Tony Eldershaw and Mr. Colson, they must be pretty pleased. I've been very impressed by what I've seen, especially from the young referees. They've been very composed. Chase, left side, around Glover, gets to Glover, turns around. Oh, wow! He had to turn around, he had to adjust. Andrew, do you see that?
Absolutely, just floating there, put it up and in. Didn't even touch any of the rim. A beautiful shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chase is now determined, trying to get after Brian. Coming through on the right side to Bang.
And goes Bang.
Yeah, you've got to be quick if you're smaller. You've got to be quick. You've got to have heart. You've got to be persistent. Let everybody know you're around. Here now in the hands of Alexander Moss. Moss. Oh, what a bounce pass. What a great pass. What a great pass there by Moss. The vision.
Beautiful pick and roll execution there from Opukanke. That's what you love to see as a coach.
Is this Tabang?
Well blocked and away come Opukanke with the tūrapa.
Opukanke, here's the captain, Harry Gibson. Harry Gibson over to Moss, the left-hander, just hit the rim. Gibson from out deep. Brian has it again. He looks as if he wants to push the ball. Watch for a good pass here. Wanted to get the ball inside and the jumper instead. So it falls there for Xavier Glover. Big guy has good touch.
Yeah, and Opukanke straight down with a kutu whaka'u. You've got to be quicker there defensively to stop that from happening.
Already you're seeing it all, Andrew. People lift on this court. There's no doubt about it. The average man becomes good. The good man becomes great. And they don't forget the experience.
Another little shot clock error we're just trying to sort out here. Ben, I tell you what, it seems to be you've lifted the call, but you haven't lifted the machinery we've got going on.
Has somebody done something? Who's doing that? Has somebody got something? Over there is Jake Young. And I tell you what, as a young guy, what impresses me, these referees out there are showing composure as well. If you have a look at Brock, unmoved. A picture of stillness.
Nothing phases these guys anymore. I think he's just seen himself on TV. That's why he's laughing it off.
You stand up a little straighter. Oh, boy, look at the people coming, pouring in. Games here, games on the 9 courts we've got here. They're sport for choice, really. Get a sneak peek at everybody else before your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter plays. Almost catch cold. Is this what they call a referee's timeout? Is that what we're having here at the moment, Andrew? An unofficial sort of timeout?
That is. They're just going to have a quick discussion between the two because if the shot clocks aren't working down there, do they have emergency shot clocks they can pull out, something that they can manually use? I mean, you don't want to have to ask the poor school bench ladies to manually yell out from 10.
No, you can't. You don't want to count fingers at the Nationals, to be honest with you. But an exciting game. The start that we've seen. See Central Southland College score their first basket. Saw a three-point play. Saw the big guy again pull up for a three-pointer. I think that was Glover. Seeing Gibson be persistent. See a great assist from Alexander Moss. It's you take something out of this being here. You leave here. When you have a moment to reflect, you reflect on just how special it really was. There's Eva Langton, and I can assure you they are all listening.
Oh, 100%. Someone's got headphones in.
Better get them out, and quickly. Oh, boy, the knowledge that these players are exposed to, I hope they're aware of it. I hope they're grateful. I'm sure they are, that they have experts taking them to the next level. Before these coaches got them, they were good young players. And now they've got wings and they're flying. These are the people who put you in those positions. These are the people that help you achieve what you can. You've got to put the work in. You know, the effort's got to be there from the player. Can't flog a dead horse. But having said that, you know what they know, they pass it on. It's illuminating, opens doors. Andrew, do you still feel as if it's special? You come here and see this. Is it still a thrill?
Absolutely. I mean, every time you walk in these doors, you get off the plane, you come into Fly Palmy Arena. It feels like Christmas Day, Ben, every single time.
I'll tell you what, you celebrate humanity. That's an Olympic oath. I think Eva Langton having a word there with Jake Young, and she'd be sympathetic to the young man. They're trying to run a tight ship, but at the moment, the machines... Oh, man. Look at the boys. The boys are loving it. They're on TV. Oh, art students and all. You know, they're loving it here.
Right, we're going to take a quick break while we get this sorted out, and we're going to be back after the ad roll with more boys single A action.
This is an opportunity that we can't pass on.
Okay, well, you haven't missed much, only a couple of missed shots, one from each corner. And coming back with the ball now, Opukanke. Whakata Māori. This is live coverage. These are direct pictures. Big guy on the floor now, Lucas Meyer-Hall. Where's the 10 for Opukanke? So for Central Southland College, their first trip here, and they couldn't have come across tougher opposition team that's won it twice in a row.
It's so impressive last year as well. To see a quick on ball there. Decision time for Opukanke to the hoop with the left hand, and the kuru whakau is good.
Puki Tereri chase there. Nice improvisation. Opukanke and Central Southland College. 10 all. Some scrappy passing around the perimeter. That's Brian. And now with House Collett. The jumper is up from Mason Maguire. Another loose ball there, getting some offensive rebounds. That should concern Opukanke air ball. And the reverse layup hits the top of the backboard as well. Back in the hands now of Chase. Chase scored the last field goal for Opukanke. That's their captain. Gibson's long on the three-point shot attempt. Ball went through the hands of Meyer-Hall. Opukanke again. It is a little ragged at the moment. That was a shot by Moss at the front of the hoop.
And you're not going to want to leave Moss open. Such a prolific three-point shooter as we saw this morning. Just a bit errant there on that pass. Maybe still some nerves there, Ben.
Well, that was a hectic period, wasn't it? Now, this here is un-Opukanke-like. Simple pass out of court.
Pulling back into their 1-3-1 zone that they've had success with in the past.
Nice pass there from Blake House Collett. They get another offensive rebound. That Glover.
Great work from the big fella.
Neither team is really dominating its own boards. They're not taking their own boards at the moment. Lead now to Central Southland College, a 2-point lead. Here's Moss. Long jumper. It rims out. Brian the rebound. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was actually Glover with the board there. Glover, good handles for a big guy. Ball in the safe hands of Maguire.
Great rip and go and pass. And the tūrapa ends up Opukanke ball.
Okay. Opukanke, they would want to settle their play a little as well. Get through a couple of possessions. Not wait for the clock to wind down. Not turn the ball over. To Moss underneath, one dribble. Was caught on the baseline. That's Gibson banging into a defensive player, and ball goes loose.
Great use of verticality there from Central Southland.
Okay, that's a chase, long jumper. The jumper is off. The jump shooters have temporarily, for the moment at least, gone cold. They pick off the pass. That was Wedemu Henry. The big guy gets going. Moss left-hander down the baseline. Moss there with an exquisite finish. Such skill, Andrew.
Just hung and finished with the big kuru whakau. Lovely to see from the young man.
Again, it's a little bit scrappy. There's the cross-court pass from the big guy Glover. Bounce pass into Brian. Brian there with a good pass to Glover. And that was expertly handled.
Love to see good space and good wraparound passes, creating space for your teammates.
Henry, this is Moss. Ball hits the edge of the hoop, it's loose. And Brock Harlem sees things Opukanke's way.
Couple subs in here for Opukanke. First, number 1, Chris John Abad. And it looks like number 15, Tainui Mihaka.
Well, this is the skipper with the inbound. And right on top of him is Mason Maguire. Make his life difficult on the inbound. Got to go deep, surely. Okay, trying to get a bounce pass there back to the captain. It was a tough pass to make. Ball held there by Glover. And into the hands of Maguire. Maguire now for Glover. Calls it down. Glover, they're going to the corner, trying to work the ball around the circle. Jerome Tabang, loose now, Opukanke have it. Steal there, Tainui Mihaka.
One-on-one opportunity here for Opukanke. And foul is called, draws the hara, does Puki Tereri Chase.
I have been impressed by what I've seen from the officials here. Andrew, the signals have been clear, they've been decisive. I'm impressed.
Well, they're improving all the time. We're going to see a timeout taken here from Coach Langton and Opukanke. First one of the game.
Amazing stuff. Good active stuff. Opukanke trailing by 2. Central Southland College. First field goal in this game. These smaller schools, this A grade, it is a wonderful thing, don't you think, Andrew? The smaller schools with players who are every bit as good as bigger regions get a chance to showcase what they can do.
Well, absolutely. It's a great scouting opportunity for those players at smaller schools. I think back to 2019, Jack Andrew, a player who in a region might not have got as much opportunity had this competition not existed. Then got picked up by the Otago Nuggets in 2020, now halfway through a development contract in the AMBL with the Perth Wildcats. So just the exposure that these young athletes get at this tournament is wonderful.
And these smaller regions, as with rugby too, they produce players who I suppose are independent. Players who, if they want to get ahead, they have to drive their own training. You know, they're self-taught to an extent and in many ways. It is a team game, obviously, but there are benefits to be had coming from a smaller area. These guys will absorb a lot of bruises in the next few days. Bodily, they're going to be taxed. Take a knock. Here's Gibson getting away from the ball. They're about to inbound the ball. Is this a bad with the inbound?
It is nice little roll screen there. Te Rere Chase couldn't convert, but an offensive tūrapa and another chance for Opukanke.
Mihak has picked up a couple of offensive rebounds. That's Chase. Chase there, strongly to the basket. He'd be annoyed with himself more than anything there, Chase, because such a good player, he knows, should have made that. Diane Newton down there with her crew.
Well, like a dog chasing his tail, it was all about the opportunity, but just couldn't convert. And Opukanke still down by 2 as they get another steal.
Okay, Henry, Chase again to the three-point line, thought better of it, thinking about making or taking a jump shot at least. Once again, Chase after the ball, gets it back. Screen from Henry. Chase to the basket, scoop. Wasn't a lot happening structurally there, Andrew, on offense, but they ended up scoring.
No, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Had to make something work and did so.
Hey, Brian, across the floor. Now Central Southland College looking for a way in. That shot attempt obviously will not count from Blackhouse Collett.
No, referee signals 2 shots. So chance to shoot some Kuru Tautukus.
Jake Young from the capital. Shot taken by House Collett, captain of the team. From the wonderful basketball factory, you could call it these days, of Winton. It's produced these guys, this team, so it can make that claim. Here's Chase down the floor. Skipper with the ball. That was Gibson. Chase, he throws up another one hand, another runner. Some of our wonderful sponsors, New Zealand Carbon Farming, don't forget about them. Top left of your screen. Shot once again is out. Henry dispossessed of the rebound. And again another turnover near halfway as it Chase into the first period, 16-14. Andrew, what did you take from that? What should the players take from that?
Well, I think for Central Southland, it's a great start. You're playing the 2-time defending champions and you're leading after one quarter. For Opukanke, for me, it's just the angle of attack. They're trying to come too centrally. If they can work the ball, try and get it a couple of sides before a shot, they're going to work that defense around a lot more and create better quality looks at the basket.
Try and stretch the defense, you mean?
Absolutely. You're onto it there, Ben.
First time ever. I tell you what, the Central Southland, for them, first time ever. And they have players who are up to the mark. I mean, you've already seen it. Xavier Glover is a strong guy. Tabang has good handles.
Archie Bryan as well as one that's been a standout for me. Got to watch a little bit of him this morning playing against Aquinas College, and one of note to watch in the future.
You mustn't forget that for these guys, especially obviously for Central Southland College, they're playing teams that they've never played before. They're playing away from home. at a level that would be difficult to imagine if you hadn't been. Huge stadium out here on this court. It would be easy to be overwhelmed, but I tell you what, they're responding well here, very well. They lead by 2, and Opukanke, obviously a team which is well coached.
You can see Eva Langton is having a conversation with her team. Went to college in the States, came up through the Taranaki ranks, and as I said before, playing for the Tokomonoa Queens in the Tauihi League. Father Aaron, of course, also a scratch handicap golfer. Very good player.
Some people are good at everything, makes you sick, doesn't it? I mean, you know, these guys, I suppose the thing that they can do for these players as well is keep it in perspective. You know, it's important sport. Okay, you're not a bad young player, but if you want to do this or want to do that, we have to be realistic about it. And that's not a bad thing. That's not squashing somebody's dream. It's helping somebody to understand where they are and what they're going to have to do if they want to go anywhere else.
Of course, and it's not just about the on-course lessons, is it, Ben? It's the life skills that these older generations can teach the young kids.
You know, being in a team, I mean, it's a thrill. Traveling away with the team, the humor of the team, arriving together, eating together, it's a special thing. These guys have a closeness. They're going to, you know, they're going to have that forever. Mouth guards, that'll be something that some have to get used to.
Yeah, that is a compulsory rule for any athlete under 19 years of age in this country now. Too many teeth coming out through elbows, Ben, so just a way to stop that from happening. Keep the smiles nice and pretty.
Yeah, the good old roughhouse, the Wild West. We're trying to get away from that here in New Zealand. Back home, the Gisborne Basketball Association, where I'm from, they love basketball, and it's strong basketball that they play back home. Every now and then there is physical contact.
Great work here. Central Southland to move the ball, but a big steal.
Turned over, and that's Chase! Chase!
Just a bit too casual on that attempt.
Well, you know, he's such a good player. That's an aberration. That just doesn't happen. Except it happened. Central Southland College. Ball in the hands of House Collett. Collett lowers his head. Went into the tummy there of Gibson. Not much give.
3-second call there. Just staying in bloody nose lane a little too long.
I've seen that called in the last couple of games I've covered. It is not one that you should get all that often.
Absolutely not. Hope you're checking your lotto numbers, Ben, because we've had a few things that you don't see very often in this one.
Things that go bump. Here is Chase. Chase top of the key. Chase left side, peddling his wares. Over there now to Gibson, wants a screen, calls for it, goes the other way, and now makes the shot.
Great finish there on the Kuru Whakau. Nice and confident at the hoop.
Ryan. Good work, that's Maguire. Maguire, good pass. That's Brian. Brian, he looked as if he was in some difficulty. Loose, and the call is made. You just don't get away with it, do you, Andrew? If you're behind a player and the referee's on top of you, it's hard to get away with that.
And they've done a fantastic job so far, the referees at this tournament. I've been so impressed with the standard across the board.
Yes, well, I mean, Diane Newton has done a very good job with her team. You saw Diane a moment ago with her team. Here's Moss. Moss bounce pass. You know what? He's impressing me with his intelligence, Moss. They've turned the ball over, not his fault. Far side. It's Archie Bryan. And this is Tabang. And it doesn't happen there for Glover. Glover going to keep going. Is he going to keep going? You bet he is. Glover, he's stuck with it.
Persistence pays off, and it has done so as Central Southland keep the lead, 18-16. Opukanke, little cross over there, pull up. And the two-up into the hands of Tabang, and away comes for Central Southland.
Gibson, ball might have hit Brian on the back of the head. Loose ball situation in the corner, air ball. Seen one or two air balls here. Nice work by Fergus Watson as well. Here's now Brian bumping into somebody, going to be called as an offensive foul. Now, there's no doubt that it was a charge, but I tell you what, in the book of charges, I've seen more rugged charges than that in the last couple of days. I've seen some you wouldn't read about. Elephant gun.
Absolutely nice to see the young athletes willing to put their bodies on the line, take the contact, and get an extra possession for their teams.
Yeah, well, now here's Chase, who, as I mentioned, is a very good ball handler. Scored a couple of memorable baskets so far. Missed on his last shot attempt, but that's not something that happens so often. Gibson holds the ball. Here's Moss there with the left hand. He looked as if he had to steady himself, but made the shot.
It was such a great pass there as well from Harry Gibson, just to find the cutter.
And there is a wonderful pass there from Glover. That is a strong pass from the strong man. 20-18, Central Southland College lead by 2. Chase has it, holding his man off. He's holding Maguire at bay. Maguire, though, will not go away. And here is the skipper underneath.
Gibson with the left hand, just dividing the trees of defenders to put that one on the hoop.
Yeah, he fought hard. And you got to fight hard. Nobody gives you anything here at the Nationals. Tabang trying to slip a pass away. And eventually it drops for Glover.
Off the Tapa and the Papamuri. Count your stars, lucky there, Central Southland.
22-20, Chase again, going to have to come up with something pretty special. Came up with something a little bit unusual. Now Jerome Tabang makes the layup.
Tabang, probably the quickest player on the court. Getting out in front of everyone, making that with ease.
In the open court, that's what you've got to do. You know, it just doesn't do to miss open layups on the breakaway. That situation, Moss, who belying his stature is very strong, gave a bounce pass there to Henry, but probably a little bit too much weight on the pass.
Absolutely. Have another look here on the action replay. And just maybe a second later, his teammate would have been behind the defender. Angle would have worked, and easy 2 points.
Well, you know, you've got to expect a really good pass, even something a little bit left field from somebody like Moss. You play with them long enough, you get used to it, but even so, Glover, strong pass by Glover, that skip pass. Stretch the defense out, Glover there. Glover has it. Glover!
Big and one there for Xavier Glover.
Some guys are strong. He's broad, Glover. Got that rebound low down on the right. And from there, transformed from immovable object to unstoppable force and put the ball in the basket. 26 points to 20, a 6-point game and a 3-point play. What a wonderful thing it is, Andrew, to see a big guy convert a 3-point play.
Well, that's modern basketball, isn't it, Ben? Just the skill of players across the board now so much higher than the traditional big men just get under the hoop.
Yeah, the good old days of the triangle offense and try and shoot one at the end, run down the middle. Tabang. Maguire's skillful as well. This is Glover, and he lowers his shoulder. And that was a pass to Maguire. You're going to have to come up with something, a pretty rough shot there from Central Southland College. But hey, you know, when you have no alternative. And now Chase has no alternative. Gets to the basket, puts the ball up. Had to take a knock.
Well, a fantastic verticality on the other end gave that opportunity for Opukanke to get out and run. As we have another look at it here on the action replay, and the Kurufaka'u converted with ease.
I love that by Chase. He was wriggling, he was wobbling, and he made the shot. And he used the square, to be fair. 27-22, 5-point game. Okay, that, yeah, that drop there for Chase.
Off the GJ Gardner sign and home with ease.
Sponsors we've got for Kata Māori and people like Carbon Homes, all the others, Apollo. We're very lucky to have them. Very lucky indeed, and we appreciate them. And so do the boys and girls who play at this tournament, these young men and women. Gibson, can he get the shot off? He can, under duress, but made the shot. 27-24. Now 25. Opukanke trailing by 2. The bang. Okay, was a little startled by the pass. Toby McGregor. Glover.
Great work there from Central Southland, sticking with it and extending the lead back out to 4 points, just over halfway played in quarter number 2.
As a coach, Andrew, I mean, how many minutes would you allow a big guy like Glover to play? I mean, he's playing well, no doubt about it, but you also don't want him to run out of gas. You also know that you've got big games ahead. So how much is too much with a young player?
It depends on team to team, but I mean, that's what those early mornings are for, Ben. Those cold mornings, getting out, running tracks to get the fitness up, giving you the opportunity to play as many minutes as possible for your team.
I'd hide. Here now is Henry. In open court, Henry skips there. Lovely athlete. Nice finish. And quick to get it back in, Central Southland College. They know that they too have to keep scoring. 29-27, they lead by 2. Got to be persistent. McGregor with the last pass. And here is House Collett. That's Henry, scored the last field goal at the other end of the floor. 29-27, a 2-point game. Now Chase. Chase had to make that up as he went along. Not letting go of the ball easily, Glover. Rebounded the ball, then held on to it. And this is House Collett. Guys move a little, but not a lot of player movement. I think that's really what put House Collett under some pressure. He had to try and go crazy around the 3-point line. There wasn't a lot of motion there on offense.
Central Southland there, just getting a little bit stagnant. But as well for Opukanke, if Puki Tereri Chase is going to get that many good looks, he's got to make sure he's putting them in the hoop. For Central Southland, you've got to get out there, defend them, and put the ball in other people's hands.
You know, the truth is these guys are now at the stage, and probably have been for some time, you can be honest with them. You don't want silly people just yelling their heads off for no reason, but you can actually say, hey, that needs to go down. We need to make our layups. And it won't upset people, you know, they won't run away. At the moment, 29-27 for Kata Māori. It is wonderful to see this sport. Andrew, the last couple of months, they've gotten to see football, rugby, basketball, the exposure that all of these sports are getting, really, I suppose, is in step with the efforts of promotion and the efforts of the participants.
Well, it's fantastic as well this year for the first time ever to have 2 courts going, Ben. I've been listening intently to your commentary on Court 5, and it's been fantastic to see the actual hub of secondary school nationals, because this is the show court. This is, it doesn't really feel a part of it when you're out here, but when you get into that hub, it's a beautiful thing to see and hear the noise of secondary school nationals in full blast.
The Nationals, it's something that many players in many schools aspire to get to. Remembering it's a team game, sometimes that just doesn't happen. But the world is full of stories of teams that came really close. They came 6th when they needed to come 5th. They were 5th when they needed to be 4th.
It does happen as Opukanke are going to get us back underway in the safe hands of Harry Gibson.
Gibson's played solidly, Gibson, there with the dribble, round about 8 feet from the hoop. And now in the hands of Tabang. Tabang, a lively player, good ball handler.
Tie ball game now, Ben.
House Collett, yes, it's 29 all. The pass up the floor, and Opukanke, unselfish, but again, missing on what you'd have to call, you know, sometimes you need to be told straight, as I said, hey, those layups need to be made. If you're Opukanke, I mean, you give your teammates some skin, it's not the end of the world, but still, it needs to go down.
Yeah, interesting choice there from Mihaka. I thought he was going to go up with the layup. Decided to dish that one off and meant no basket for Luke Forsyth. But another chance here to get another steal and another opportunity.
Did you think they overpassed the ball, perhaps, there, Andrew?
Potentially, but I mean, ultimately, unselfish players should be allowed as big. And one as he draws the heart up. Well,
that's a strong drive. It takes it out. You can see the young man breathing heavily. That was Black House Collett, right side, comes down hard. But you know what? His eyes never left the basket, even as his back at the floor. Jarring thud. 31-29. Free throw made there for 32-29 on the made free throw. 32-29 Opukanke, trail by 3. Looking for some consistency of scoring. Here's Henry. Henry pushed out of there by Glover. Glover, they call that bodying up, and he gets the call. These referees are allowing the players to be physical, not to be crazy, but allowing them to play, Andrew.
Absolutely. You never want a game that's over-whistled. You want to let the players flow, find their momentum, find their physical limits, and the referees are doing just that.
I'll tell you what I think is interesting is Henry gets a steal here. Henry now down the middle into a couple of guys. I can remember being told by one of our top basketball brains many years ago, you set your standard early as a referee, set the standard early, the players know where they are. But then later on he said, hey, towards the end of the game, someone's going to have to lose an arm for me to call a foul. And I said, what? And he said, you want the players decided? And I said, well, you said this before. And he said, yeah, well, that was before. This is the end of the game. I couldn't get my head around that, but it makes a kind of sense.
It does and it doesn't. I mean, ultimately, if you call the whistle or you don't call the whistle, you're making a decision. And one team's going to be happy with it, one team's not.
Yeah, that's for real. Here come Central Southland College. They've turned it over. This is the captain, Gibson. Going to take it right to all three of them and then pass back to a Chase. And Chase floats one up from about 3 feet. It'd be maddening if you're Central Southland College. See the way he just floated that up out of the fingers.
That's Central Southland to the hoop. And stripped. Can they work the ball around, find the open player? It's a bit messy, Ben.
Glover of the ball, yes, it's turning into something resembling basketball. Three-pointer is made for 35-31.
And another turnover, Central Southland ball, all the momentum with under a minute to play in quarter two.
Well, this is another interesting call because I've heard it said that the referees will blow the whistle, you step on the end line, if there's a pressure defense applied, but if it's not, they won't. They say there's no advantage. Of course, there was pressure there. Okay, almost lost the handle on it, Mason Maguire. They still have the ball, though, and this is Jerome Tabang. Jerome Tabang! Where there's a will, there's a way. Unfortunately, missing on the shot.
Got his own rebound, though, and it's huge for Central Southland, and perfect verticality from Opukanke. But it stays with Central Southland. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, no, you'd be hoping for a foul there, but the big guy took it in the chest. This place is not chock full of people who take one in the chest. A charge, that is. And here now to Glover. Makes a wheel. Couldn't get the angle on the backboard, really, to Bang.
Oh, what a spin and pass there for Central Southland. Kurufifi Toru in and out.
House Collett. Okay, now Glover. And this is the jumper from House Collett. Hits the front again. At some stage, it's got to go down. At some stage, it's got to go down. Won't give up there. The big guy won't give up, Xavier Glover.
Opukanke get away with one. 20 seconds to play, quarter two.
20 seconds, that's, well.
That's going to be 2 free throws.
These teams undoubtedly over the course of the season have played basketball far more polished than this, but they're now playing at a higher level with more on the line. It being very important to perform well. Jake Young trots into position.
Pressure does funny things to people, doesn't it, Ben?
Makes some, breaks others. But that's why you need to keep sport in perspective. As we say on Whakata Māori, it's something you love, you know, it's a big part of your life, but don't let it be your whole life. And I think that's important for these young guys. You know, their skill at basketball is not a measure of their worth as people. No way. Or their value. Great to have young people enjoying their sport. That's Maguire. Turned it over. The captain throws one up. Into the second period, 35-32. Basketball on a knife's edge. It may be, Andrew, that scrappy basketball like this is all the more exciting because it's so raw.
Absolutely. It's not the polished professionalism that we sometimes get on TV, but we're going to let the people mull that over as we go to a quick commercial break in halftime.
No doubt about that. The basketball of the people, for the people, by the people. Here on Whakata Māori.
Okay, guys, price to sell. You've got pasta as well. Go to sell. Ladies and gentlemen,
this isn't about what we wore back in the day.
we're going to go now. We're going Going twice. No more offers. Scored!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
Sport is about more than just a game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
From us, it's a huge thank you to New Zealand Carbon Farming. The opportunities and the sponsorship that's been provided is pretty crucial for our school.
We're buying new volleyball gear, so volleyball nets, balls, and the stands to attach the volleyball nets to the floor. Volleyball is a very popular sport. Kids find it to be fun.
We'd just like to thank you from Otago New High School. See.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through really tough times.
This is an opportunity that we can't pass up.
The New Zealand sport ethos is to enjoy sport for sport's sake. And boy, oh boy, is that the case here for Kata Māori and the coverage of the Basketball New Zealand National Championships from Palmerston. This place has become the home, the hub, the epicentre, the beating heart of basketball, Andrew.
Absolutely. You can just see as you walk around the town as well, everyone in their school colours, players, managers, coaches, supporters. You don't get that in many places, but Palmerston North during the first week of the school holidays, it becomes alive with basketball.
Oh, absolutely. And some of the little old ladies that were walking with me this morning, we came in, looking at the boys saying, they're so tall. Well, they are. They are very tall. We've got at least a couple of guys here that would be just around about the 7-foot mark. I don't doubt it. And here on this court, everybody wants to play it. You've got to earn the right, mind you. You know, you've got to make the finals. Central Southland at the moment up by 3. Opukanke, defending champions. A feather in the cap of Central Southland, you think, Andrew, to be leading them by 3 points?
Absolutely, and a big match for them. They've currently lost to 1-1 in their pool play. So this, a critical match for Central Southland.
Black House Collard inbounds the ball. This is Tabang. Tabang has it back to Bang. House Collar back to Tabang. Swinging the ball around the three-point line. That's Brian, who scored the first basket of the game. Now a nice handle from Alexander Moss, who is composed as any. His captain Gibson. Gibson wheels around the three-point line. Don't have somebody that can play in the pivot, but Opukanke may not need that, as you can see. He got to the basket and he scored. Chase.
What an angle he took to the hoop. Created the easy kurufaka'u and first points in third quarter for Opukanke.
You know, Chase impresses me. He's a very orthodox player, really. Here now is O'Brien. Now Glover. Glover left with a tough shot, hit the underside of the backboard.
He just got caught in the wrong angle. And that's what it's all about, isn't it, Ben? The angles within basketball that create the shots.
Well, here's a guy that knows a little bit about that, Chase. He's proven it already. Here's Gibson, Blue Thunder, and gets a shot up and up, and it sits. Nice there by Gibson. Big, strong, strapping young man, got to impose himself. And here in the second half, this is his time to shine, or at least that's what he wants to do. Here now, Brian, left side of the court.
Quick 4-0 run here for Opukanke to start quarter 3. And they're up 36-35. Open Kurufifi Toru is short. Tūrapa into the hands of Wiremu Henry.
Henry, great position there on that rebound now, Chase. To bang with him. To bang, looking to take care of him. You want to keep the ball out of his hands. And there, Chase got the shot off. Couldn't make it sit. Henry, a little deep on the hoop. Shot off again. Getting a lot of second, even third shot opportunities. That was Tabang getting up. Did he get a piece of the shot there of Gibson? I must believe it.
Just felt Gibson was caught in two minds there, whether to shoot or pass. Ended up going for the shot and came off left iron.
House got the shot off there, but it did not sit. House call it.
What a pullback there from the big fella.
37-36. Opukanke trail by 1. That's a bounce pass from Mihaka to Moss, to the captain. It's the front. Some days your shot just doesn't fall. Wiremu Henry, no problem, of course. Last touch into the front court was from Central Southland College. Chase has it, calls for a screen. Doesn't get one. And now Gibson to the basket. He is there. He made the shot.
Their fearless leader leading them into battle at the hoop.
38-37. Opukanke by 1. Got to play some hard defense here. Get a couple of what they call stops. Underneath and in trouble was House Collett. Brian gets the shot up. Yes, made the layup and drew the foul. So Brian, who scored, made a 3-point play, I think, to start the game. Look at Brian again, irrepressible, and would not take no for an answer.
What a great use of his acrobatic body with a chance to shoot a kurufakeu and bring back this 2-point lead here for Central Southland.
Andrew, I don't doubt it, weeks, months, years, all that practice, that hard work pays off. The honest giver never fails to receive.
Never heard a truer word in my life. As some pressure on Opukanke. And Chase to the hoop, up and in. Off the tupper. The calm roll ties this ball game up 40 apiece.
Got himself back together again, 40 all. Central Southland and Opukanke. Ball takes a high bounce. Well, you know what? From memory, the ball these days, if it hits the top of the backboard, it's still legal, Andrew. It's still legal, the top.
Yes, absolutely. It's got to hit the structure behind. If it rolls over the top, it doesn't touch anything, it's still fair game. Gets a few people that rule.
I've seen that. I mean, balls at the back of the backboard. I have. Oh, boy, have I. And now into the hands of House Collett again.
Really just working the corners here, Central Southland, trying to stretch the Opukanke defense. That's come off the structure and away come Opukanke.
Okay, nice pass there from Chase to Henry, absorbs contact. And over there to Alexander Moss. Moss is worth his weight in gold.
And such crucial points there for Opukanke. 4-point lead for them. Here's to bang.
Okay. Shots on from Maguire. Hits the front though. Guys have got to. Somebody's got to want the ball. Somebody's got to want it more. You got to rebound here, Jake Young.
And a chance for a breather here for some of the bodies that are playing big minutes in this game.
On now, Lucas Meyer Hall, powerful forward. Chase, right side, looking maybe for Hall.
Moss, not quite getting the extension in the legs he wanted, leaving that one short with a Kurufifi Toru attempt.
I mean, the number of minutes he's played, I mean, honestly, Andrew, is he knackered? I mean, that can happen, you know. You're playing more than one game a day.
For sure, fatigue comes into it, but when you're playing for your school, for your people, and a chance to potentially make a semi-final, you put that in the back of your mind.
You know, these guys, I wonder if they realise they're only a couple of games away, maybe 3 games away from the big one. The jumper from the corner there sits for Blake House Collett. They may only be 2-3 games away.
It's not that much, is it, in the context of a year? Opukanke have been there twice before, won twice before. Can they do the three-peat? No one's ever done it in the boys single A.
No, and but, you know, if a team is going to do it, obviously Opukanke stand the best chance. They've been there, done that. They know what it's like to be trailing big games. They know what it's like to have a lead. Brian there does the right thing. He was going to have to take a tough shot. Got the ball out of the paint. See the big guy there, Lucas Meyerhall, in search of the ball. They must have such confidence, though, Opukanke, Andrew. I mean, if you've done it twice, you know you can.
Absolutely, but a team that isn't going to rest on their laurels. They know they're going to have to go out there and earn it, and that's what they're trying to do tonight.
That's, I suppose, the best attitude you can have is we're not out there to defend the championship. If you have that attitude, it probably won't work. Got to go out there and win it for this team this time. Not last year's team or the team before that, but this year's team. Ball hits the front, loose, and the captain has it.
Oh, he's got to make sure you box out. That way it's the best chance of securing it. Opukanke got away with one there.
Puki to Lady Chase, guarded by Maguire. Maguire in front of him. And the captain, Harry Gibson, put the ball on the floor, was in an impossible position. Lucas Meyerhall. Now Gibson has to fire one air ball. Just did not. You were talking before about spreading the court, swinging the ball. Is that what's not happening?
Yeah, that's got caught with bad spacing, and then when you've only got 3-4 seconds left on the shot clock, you've got to make a quick decision. And with the rush shot, that's what led to the ball going out of bounds, being Central Southland ball.
Sounds almost a contradiction in terms, but you can end up with a rushed shot if you use all 24 seconds. Is that not so?
Absolutely, you can. They used it all, but didn't get in the right positions they needed to be. As Central Southland with the big offensive two-upper, and the Kuruwhiwhi Toru is good.
Okay, Maguire there hitting the three-pointer. Good form. They were patient then on offense. Don't want to run the clock down for no reason. 2-point game. 3 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the period. Chase coming around to the left. The scoop shot doesn't sit. It rolls off the forehead of Gibson.
What a magical putback that was there. And Opukanke tie this one back up, 46 apiece, as the Hara is drawn. It's going to be a sideline ball.
Magic moments, Andrew, put you on the spot. Over the years, you must have seen some things that you won't forget. Almost brought a tear to the eye. What have you seen?
In sport in general?
Yeah,
or
just here, at this tournament.
At this tournament, I think you think back to 2016 and the half-court shot from Rangitoto College to win the boys AA. Just don't bring it up to Miles Pearce. It's still a hard one for him to swallow, as the local boys, Palmerston North, was so close to getting on top.
Yeah, I'm frightened of Miles. I'm not going to upset him. And here is Chase, feigning as if to drive. Holds the ball for Moss. The captain back to Chase, extends. Three-pointer is not there. And now Tabang there with a long pass. Maguire has the ball. Maguire did well to save it in court. Tabang, now to Brian. Brian rumbles into the middle and gets the ball out on the wing to House Collett.
Big Kuruwhiwhi Toru there for Central Southland. 2 minutes and change to play in quarter 3. That point puts them 3 points up, and that could be critical moving forward in this game.
Well, Gibson hit the front iron. Again, needed somebody to pass to on the left side of the court, or right side of the court as he saw it. Here now to Bang, bounce pass, Glover. Glover into the middle underneath. And they'd given up on the shot there, Opukanke. But Central Southland didn't make it stick, and now turn the ball over to Bang.
And we're going to see a timeout here taken by Opukanke. A very wise one with 1:40 to play. Just trying to figure out how they can better work this system to get the shots in their favour.
A couple of inexplicable lapses when the guards is throwing a ball out of court. Seen it more than once, and from players who are very, very good. It's actually a healthy reminder of the fact that these are not robots. They are young guys. Yes, they're very talented, absolutely. But everyone makes mistakes, and the sooner that they can, come to terms with that fact, the better off they'll be. Probably help their game, to be honest. And at the moment, 49-46, minute 40. What is this next minute 40 about if you're Central Southland College, Andrew?
Well, for Central Southland, the defence has been disrupting Opukanke perfectly. For me, it's their spacing offensively. How can they drag the defence out, open up those lanes to the hoop, and get the easy kuru whakaus to try and build a bigger lead heading into quarter 4?
And if you're Opukanke, your message to them would be?
We've got to space the ball a little bit better, and the passing's got to be crisper. We're seeing a few times that the passes aren't quite getting to the target in time, allowing the defence to get back in front and try and slow them down.
It's a lot to take in if you're a young player. You have a role to play within a system on the court. As long as you know what it is that you have to do and you stick to it religiously, you can get through it. You can play a part. You can contribute. And here's our Widemu. Widemu will throw the ball into play in the backcourt. Chase has it. 49-46. The two-time defending champions trail by 3. And they're being hustled on the three-point line by Bang. Chase. Gibson going to have to come up with a rough one down the middle.
Interesting, only the first foul on Central Southland in the third quarter, as we have a look at here on the action replay. Just got caught on the wrong angle, and that's what led to the foul call.
It's not his fault, Gibson, but a couple of times he sort of had to make a move like that down the middle, you know what I mean, towards the end of a possession. Chase holds the ball. Now going to swing it. Was Forsyth a moment ago, Luke Forsyth, that we haven't seen a lot of. Pulls up there, Chase, and Chase really allowed to shoot that ball. And perhaps Central Southland College could have got out to Chase there, and he's proven he can make it.
Well, it's outside normal opening hours, but the bank is still open there for Opukanke. A big 2 points.
I love that, man. Did you see what Henry did? Grabbed his man by the wrist. Grabbed him by the wrist. And no action was taken. But you've got to be sharp to pick up on that. That's a three-pointer, and it sinks. Sinks there for Blackhouse Collett. 2 or 3 times I've seen guys with very quick hands grab an opposition player by the wrist, and referee's not picking up.
A very critical Kuruwhiwhi Toru there for Central Southland, nursing a 4-point lead. Currently under 30 seconds to play. What can Opukanke counter with on their last possession of this quarter?
Okay, well, they've turned it over. Unfortunately, Brian has the ball. Makes the transfer. Now Glover huffs and puffs and gets over halfway. Glover holds the ball for House Collett. Now to Bang. To Bang the dribble. Left side throws it up to Bang. And hits the top of the backboard. 52-48. The moment, Central Southland College in front by inches. 52-48, Andrew.
Well, they're doing a fantastic job just tipping the ledger in their favour. Almost a 50-50 game, but currently 52-48. And they're just making enough plays at the right time, specifically Xavier Glover and Archie Bryan. But for me, it's been the spark plug, Jerome Tabang, who is making things happen and is leading to the Southland lead.
That last period, he was able to penetrate the interior defence, wasn't he? He was able to get to the basket, able to slip passes, and just plays with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. See these guys lined up to play in the next game, or maybe they've just finished. Teams are keen to see other teams. They were giving us a wave, Andrew, wave back. They can't see us. Well, now maybe they've seen us. Got the thumbs up.
What's wonderful, isn't it, to see such bright young people. We lost this tournament for a couple of years because of COVID, so for it to come back last year and this year, I feel like it's bigger and better. It's a fantastic thing for our next generation.
That was the question, wasn't it, Andrew? You heard it, text messages, emails. Is it on? Is it happening? Do you think we'll play? And those guys were in their last year at school last year. You know, were desperately hoping that it would happen. And for the 2 years prior to that, you never get a chance to come back. They have the best schools in the country, or the schools whose teams have worked the hardest, the schools whose players have worked the hardest and carved for themselves, made a little bit of history.
Final messages here from each team. 10 more minutes to decide which team's going to come out on top in this one.
Central Southland and Opukanke. I'd never seen either of them play. Central Southland have never been here. Last time I myself attended the national tournament, it was, well, what was that, 2001? Havelock High School with Callum McLeod and Ollie Hill and Daryl Jones. They beat Church College in the grand final at Napier at McLean Park's famous Centennial Hall. 22 years? Good grief. 4-point game. Andrew Opukanke, it's now that they're going to turn it on, isn't it? It's now they're just going to go up a level, you think?
Well, they are, and it looks like they've switched into a man-to-man defense as well, giving Central Southland a different problem they're going to have to counteract, which they do with ease in that first possession through Archie Bryant.
That was fabulous. It may have looked pretty straightforward, but that he did that. He was on the other side of the hoop. This is Gibson. Could get a good pass. That's a perfect pass. What a great pass from the captain. Again, it comes to North. Opukanke there. What Gibson handed out. Oh, pearls before them.
And he draws the header there, and it's been a fantastic start for Central Southland to start quarter number 4.
But Gibson at the other end. Such a good wraparound pass. And now it's House Collett at the free throw line.
Makes the first Kuru Tautuku.
House Collett. Second shot is up, but again sits. Opukanke now down by 8. This is unexpected.
It is, but full credit to Central Southland at the moment. They're not sitting back and letting Opukanke win. They're taking the game to them, trying to give themselves the best chance of advancing as a long Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is no good. Tūrapa again into the hands of Xavier Glover, the big man for Central Southland.
Glover getting it away a moment ago to a House Collett from the corner. Left corner, couldn't make it sit. Chase. Some magic from Chase will come in handy for Opukanke roundabout now. You know, an assist out of nowhere, a layup, a three-point play. Here is Moss, who was brilliant in the first half and then showed just signs of fatigue, as anyone would. There with a tough shot on the baseline, almost having to run past the backboard to make it. House Collett.
Well, they're going to need plenty more magic like that from Moss as the Tūrapa ends up in the hands of Tainui Mahaka.
Tabang missed on the jumper, Andrew, but he got a good look there.
Well, it was, and as a coach, that's all you want is executing the skill. It's not always about the outcome, but sometimes it's the decision-making.
That's a tough job, the job of a coach, to manage so many different people, try and help all of them achieve best they can within a team framework. It's you're working minor miracles every day when you do that. It's a privilege to coach young people. Bounce pass, and that's a special one there. That's a lovely pass from Tabang to Glover. Speaks of his high intelligence.
Well, it's one of those plays that makes you love the sport. Tabang putting on a show here, willing his team over the line.
58-50. Here's Moss. Jumper mid-range. Jumper is off. They save it, Opukanke. Love that. Here's Moss. Throws one up. It was an air ball. You might have just really wanted to land and reset the offense. And that's Brian. Brian Tabang air ball, Brian again. You shoot an air ball, I'll save it in.
Shot clock doesn't reset, so 6 seconds on the clock. Has to put up a kuruwhiwhi toru off the tapa and the tūrapa into the safe hands of Harry Gibson.
So our clock's not working, Andrew?
Our clocks are working, but didn't hit the rim, so no reset on that shot clock, Ben.
Okay. I thought for a moment. Here's Tabang. Tabang against the big fella that was Tainui Mihaka. And Henry there with a good block. Good block on Mason Maguire. Low down on the left.
Fighting for scraps of both teams. Everyone wants the ball. Gibson, kuruwhiwhi toru is good.
Three-pointer now. That could spark something from Opukanke. It needs to. If it's going to happen, it's got to be shortly. They're down by 5. 6 minutes left. 6 minutes a long time in basketball. But again, they've been trading baskets with Central Southland College. And I can imagine, I can understand why he'd be pleading his case, hoping that referee Young would see it his way, that the fingertips of an Opukanke opponent were last on the ball.
Here we go. Let's see what they can cook up offensively. Horns action, which means 2 bigs high. Just looking for an off-ball cool screen. Here's Chase.
Chase got the ball from Abad. Chase there under the basket. Chase there, by no means an easy shot or a simple operation, but did get a shot off. Sometimes get to the free throw line is a good result in and of itself, Andrew.
Absolutely, a chance for 2 uncontested shots as he leaves the first Kuru Tautuku short. Sorry, a little commentator's curse going on there.
Bang, bang on the front. 58-55.
There we go, silkily with the second.
Yeah, that sits. 58-54 now, a 4-point game. Opukanke, Central Southland College don't want to let them get close. Because if they do, it could all turn around. To Bang. Bounce pass to Bang. And a layup there, Brian missed it. Thank heaven for Glover. If you're Central Southland College, it's the layup there that I thought they'd make.
That went long off the Papamuri. And again, Xavier Glover has been like Superman for Central Southland on these rebounds.
Played a lot of, well, he's played many minutes in this game. Think of the sacrifices that players make to get here. They don't want to go home with nothing. They battle underneath. That was a bad battling with Central Southland College. As it gets a rough and tumble over there. Game has been physical, but I haven't seen one game at this tournament, Andrew, that's been out of control.
Not at all. The referees have done a fantastic job. And it's not just the calls with the whistle, Ben, it's the people management that they've managed to do. Just keeping people nice and cool-tempered.
They've had a good tone with the players.
Absolutely.
Okay, now a bad loose pass. Henry has to chase it over near the sideline. Henry has it. Henry, now a bad. Where is Gibson? Gibson pops up to get the pass. A bad around Henry, something resembling a screen. Abad holds the ball. It's Moss. Moss hits a 3, and they are officially back. They are back. They're within 3 now. They're within 3.
1 possession game, Central Southland. 4 and a bit to play. Trying to get the ball to Glover. Opukanke not allowing it to happen. Here's to Bang, trying to create something. Brian kuruwhiwhi toru is long, but again it's Glover.
Glover, offensive rebound to Bang. They got a hustle on the 3-point line. The ball is loose. Abad's got it. Abad had it. Abad, what dreams may come. All he wanted was the rebound, the defensive rebound. Call Opukanke's way. Down by 3. And this is where, if you're a team that hasn't been in this position before, that would obviously be Central Southland College.
And this is where coaching, but also the habits you create throughout the year really come back, and you find out what kind of team you are Central Southland, never been here before. Can they create new memories? And then for Opukanke, can they get back to where they feel they deserve to be?
It's about how you react and respond. It really is about how, okay, we were up by 10. Now our lead is 3 points. There are 3 minutes, 51 seconds left to play. This is the fourth period. We are on Fly Palmy Arena. We have a chance, if we can hang on, of taking one more step towards a final. And against these guys, the royalty of the grade, having won the last 2 championships, would be a hugely significant win.
As we have a look there at the Central Southland huddle, head coach Diane Newton just drawing us some things. We have a look there at Legolas. Brodie Perry from Opukanke High School.
Hey, they're off. They're off. They found an empty court. They found a court no one was using. They're going to go shoot. That's you know, some of the features in the Nationals I used to love. I haven't seen them this time round, Andrew. The coaches game, that was a hell of a competitive game. The dunk comp,
I need to bring that back.
Yeah, the hip hop challenge, I think the kids called it. It was amazing stuff. Oh, the 3-point shooting contest, obviously. Some amazing players. Lance Baker was one I remember, averaged, Lord knows what, something close to 50 for Mount Albert Grammar.
Ended up being a development player for the Breakers in their inaugural season. What a player Lance Baker was. Still is, actually. I'm sure he could still hoop with the best of them. As Chase leaves that one short. And out of bounds, it's going to be Central Southland ball.
Shots off, and Ashton McQueen was one for Tauranga Boys College, a brilliant talent. These guys, for them, anything's possible. It is. Just got to work. Got to work and keep learning. And take your opportunities when they come. Here now is a bad. Oh, the back door! The back door from there! The back door from there! Well, the court vision there of a bad. And Widemu Henry, elite athlete that he is. Breathtaking.
As we can feel the stands starting to come alive, Ben. Some defense chants going on below us.
Tell you what. Great performances make occasions. What a pass by a band.
Back live now with these pictures. Here's to Bang, kick out to the corner.
Well, they let him shoot it. I mean, how brilliant is it, Andrew, just to give ourselves a wrap for a second. The fact that people get replays now. They get to watch these games live. They get replays. Loose ball situation. Coming around is House Collett, misses the shot. Opukanke survived. Another great pass. Moss.
Well, back to those replays. When you got the best in the business like producer Rich,
absolutely,
it makes our job easy.
Here now is the big guy, Xavier Glover. Bounce pass. They're trying to get it inside. Ball in the hands of Gibson, the captain. Now all of a sudden it's a new Opukanke. Opukanke have turned over a new leaf. They've found new life. They've come to life. 61-60. 2 minutes left.
Well, champions doing what champions do. And they're not going to give up at all in 40 minutes as Moss to the hoop. Leaves that one long, but that's why you've got teammates on your back to go after the loose balls.
Widemu Henry there had it. Jake Young makes a call. The young man has been very authoritative tonight. Impressed, as I said before. It's a lot of pressure. 61-60. The referee game is not easy. It's a turnover. Opukanke have it. Gibson has it. He was hassled by Brian. Finds, I think, Chase. Chase in the corner now. A bad shoots it. And not that was part of the plan or what. Widemu Henry. Gibson, are they going to be patient here? Are they going to wait and work for a good shot? Or are they going to jack one up? Question asked and answered. Oh, and there's a good pass again from Chase. Oh, and an even better pass to Henry. Henry, his shot was blocked, but he got the ball back. Now Moss a runner. The Moss runner. They'd exhausted every other option.
Fantastic defense from Central Southland walling up. And here is to Bang.
To bang, the shot doesn't fall. Brian has it. The warrior spirit. Looks inside. Now House Collett. Ball goes loose. No call. Brian. Here's our House Collett. House Collett goes high. Well, it goes over the top of the backboard, in fact.
In just over 1 minute to play, Ben, can you believe it? Overtime could be an option in this barnstormer of a match.
Crunch time has arrived. Free throw is off. House Collett missed on the first free throw, now taking the second. Crowd continuing to stream in. Second attempt is there. Sixty-one, 61.
Here's Moss. Found himself in a lot of space. A bad to the hoop. Travel called.
A bad creative, but in trying to navigate the lane there, certainly walked. You got to be vigilant as a referee. You can't go to sleep. You know, that was a good call, but I can imagine many would miss it. Maguire left side. Trying to cast a spell on Opunanke's defense. To bang. Now House Collett. To bang. With the lob, got it to Brian. Tight ropes the side of the end line.
Bad Kurufifi Toru. And a timeout taken by Opukanke.
Three-pointer falling there for Maguire. Maguire with the weight of the world on his shoulders. A three-point shot. And this team, which has never been to the Nationals before, leads by 3 with 26 seconds left to play. It's possible.
And it's crazy. Mason Maguire, only under 15, played this year for Southland, stepping up against older and bigger players.
Look at guys rubbing their hands together. That is Fergus Watson. He knows they're close. He can almost taste it. Almost. Is that fine line, you know, between success and failure? Opunanke, unflustered, unfussed, but knowing they have a job to do, and they have 26 seconds in which to do it. Look at the old hands. Look at the old heads. Nodding sagely.
Brent Matahaere never short of a word at all.
Nelson College champions in 2000. They were.
Was Mike Fitchett playing back then? Is that?
Oh, I can't remember. It goes in one ear and out the other with me. Selective memory loss. But I remember Ollie Hill played for them in 2000. So they weren't small. Sometimes as an announcer, you sort of feel like a rock that moss grows on. You hang around long enough. Apollo Projects, top left of your screen, another great sponsor we have, along with Caltex and Carbon Farming and Whakata Māori. You know, and, big ups to Rob Waddell and company. They've got something here which is fantastic. For the community, for the people. 26 seconds. Opunanke possession. They trail by 3. Here's a bad. The bad's quite the package.
Well, magically grown up here is Moss. Finds a bad. Kurufifi Toru attempt is good.
That was an unbelievable shot. It was a brilliant jump shot. It really was. It wasn't a panic shot. He didn't fling the basketball at the ring. Composure here. Watch this. The hand stays up.
Beautiful finish in a timeout. Central Southland. Their destiny is in their own hands.
Got to pinch yourself. You're here at the Nationals and you're watching well, 64-64, 13 seconds left, 13 seconds, Central Southland College, Opunanke High School. Oh.
What are you thinking, Ben? Which way is this going to go? Is Central Southland going to get it done?
I don't think I'm thinking straight at the moment, but I do know that I have just seen an incredible jump shot. It really was from Chase. And is it any surprise that he got the ball from Moss, who's played so well, unobtrusive player? but in the final analysis, very effective.
Well, he did such a good job, did Moss. As we have another look one more time at this, drew 3 defenders and kicked it out to the open man and never looked like missing.
If it goes in, we draw level. If I miss it, we don't. 13 seconds. You take upon yourself the burden. You live or die by the sword. And I tell you what, that is fabulous. It really is fabulous. How about this 13 seconds, 64-64? Andrew, your thoughts?
They're just going to go to the hoop. Opukanke's in the bonus. Try and draw contact. Go to the line if you can. Otherwise, convert the lap. Here's the up fake. Stripped. Opukanke has 7 seconds.
Henry, and he throws it away, and it's loose. That's a chase sliding on the floor. 2 guys going after the ball. The boys are up. The coaches are roaring out instructions. Referees Young and Harlem.
Very smart foul there if this isn't called unsportsmanlike, because it's not in the bonus. So Opukanke, you're going to have to draw something up.
The game is just teetering. 64-64, 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Will it be on the official's interpretation that someone rises and someone else falls?
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's like the power of life and death.
This has been called unsportsmanlike. That's 2 shots and possession.
Well, Central Southland College, 64-64, 2 shots in possession. And of course, Puki Tereri Chase, who hit the 3-pointer to tie the scores, now at the free throw line. No bigger free throws have thus far been taken at this historic tournament.
In and out with the first one. The second one could clinch this game if he makes it. Give themselves a 1-point advantage.
The crucible of character, the free throw line, and the second one falls for a 1-point lead. Opukanke, 3.4 seconds left. I do believe the time has been called. 3.4 seconds left. He had to make one of them. He made the second of them. Andrew, where from here? Central Southland College, they have to steal the ball. But then, how do they score?
Well, they've got to get a tip, a run out, and then a last-second fling and just softly put the ball through the hoop. But Opukanke, they're going to try and run some elaborate screens to try and get their best free throw shooter open to try and ice this game.
Contrasting emotions here. You see the nervous energy of Opukanke, and with Central Southland College, they were deep in thought. 65-64, but the game is not lost. They need a steal. They would have enough time to release a shot, maybe put the ball on the floor once, maybe make one pass. Well, do they even have time for... I can remember a club final one year, Andrew. 0.34 seconds left. The guy, believe it or not, this is more to do with the table. Guy dribbled twice and hit a 3-pointer. Now, that wouldn't be possible otherwise. 2 dribbles and shoots a 3 with 0.34 seconds left.
Now, it's all about how alive the school bench is to decide this one. But Opukanke, what are they going to drop? Central Southland, what defense, what schemes have they devised to try and get a steal and put up a miracle shot to win this one?
They need someone with long arms. Either that or can shoot from a long way back. Throw to come from Gibson. He's going to inbound the ball. Gibson with the inbounding pass. Will it be Henry that goes to get the ball? Okay. Instead, to Moss. Foul.
And that's the 4th team foul. So they need a tip and a shot here to Central Southland. Not enough time to foul, shoot, and get the ball back.
Okay, they get it in. The game is over, and Opukanke have come from behind. The 2-time defending champions, 65-64, on a 3-pointer by Chase, and then a free throw. Get them across the finish line by 1 point. Andrew Horrocks, the experience, all the emotions, the highs, the lows. We've been through it with them. The game itself. Your thoughts?
Well, they say we're the champions till we're the champions no more. And that's what Opukanke have done, stealing this from the jaws of defeat to get over the line over Central Southland.
Look at the smiles. Those people are beaming. And they are beaming because they were under the hammer. This was no walkover. Some of the games played here have been walkovers. This wasn't it. Central Southland College, they should be very proud of the match effort that they made, and they're coming over to shake hands. Blake House-Collett would be desperately disappointed, but he's such a classy guy, and they're such a good crew, the Central Southland College crew. Superb ambassadors for their school, superb ambassadors for Winton, that in the spirit of basketball, they come shake hands with the referees. Those guys, hey, my last word from me, Jake Young and Brock Harlem, they did a hell of a good job. That was a one-point game. They held their nerve. They made the right calls. Sure, one at the end, it was hard to take if you were Central Southland College, but they did a good job.
Absolutely. From our production team here, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break and be back with boys AA action.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through a tough time. It's a real privilege, but for us, we want to see others get involved in this. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
This is a call to action.
It was really hard to try and keep it together every day.
I need some help.
Simple tools.
Is he here with his body or is he up here with his hinengaro?
For parents in need.
E tino he hena hau ki te whakapakari, i a hauano.
Tāhua. Mai te tirohanga Māori. Kids don't come with a manual with Nathan Wallace. Ki whakata Māori, me Māori Plus.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you.
We're going to go once. We're going twice.
And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bailey's finding buyers that others can't.
Hey. Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
So sponsorship from New Zealand Carbon Farming has been fantastic for our sports teams actually who went away to tournament week. We're a community who's driven by sport, but often money and the cost of travel, accommodation and uniform can be a barrier for some of our students. And to come out with a new uniform for a number of sports, particularly our basketball teams who have been away at nationals, has been uplifting for the students and for our community. The support from the Carbon Farming has been wonderful.
Without them, then we wouldn't look like this.
You want your tamariki to be a part of the community. Keep getting all these feelings like he's never going to fit.
That gets pretty hard. I'm so grateful that Clara has answered those prayers.
There's just always this bias away from our tamariki. We really need this done.
Our code of compliance, it's a big thing, and we ain't gonna just stop because we're stressed.
Super kura, ki whakata Māori, me Māori Plus.
No mai, haere mai, welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena for Day 2 action of AA Boys Pool C. Nelson College up against Otago Boys. And I'm still trying to catch my breath after that last game. Andrew Horrocks alongside Tomai Hipongo. How you feeling?
I'm great, Andrew. It was an absolute barn burner that you guys just covered before between Opukanke High School and Central Southland College. I'm hoping that this Southern Derby provides the same entertainment.
Absolutely, as we're going to get into the team list. Firstly, for Otago Boys High School, number 1, Victor Christoph. Number 3, Tom Wilson. 4, Oak Chisholm. Number 6, Kaio Karena. Number 7, Isaac Fruin. 8, Christopher Christoph. Number 9, Harry Bezett. 10, Jack Henderson. 12, Ben Hoskin. 21, Patrick Tippenet. 23, Noah McDowell. And 24, Liam Boona. Head coach, Esteban Idodi. Assistant coach, Levi Khan. Manager, Cherry Lucas. And the veteran, Brent Matahaere. On the other side for Nelson College, just returned from the Under-16 Asia Championships, number 0, James Matthews. Number 1, Charlie Keane. 3, Peyton Ritchie. Number 4, Ricky Vericchio. Number 7, Adam Barton. Number 8, Alex Taylor. Number 11, William Daniel. 12, Elijah Inwood. Number 13, Harry Arestio. 14, Jack Mella. 22, Robbie Lawson. 24, Rahare Tanoa. Head coach, the bald bucket himself, the inspiration for the group chat on Facebook, Sam Dempster. Assistant coach, Tony Anderson, with manager Andy Stevens. Tomai, you're doing double duty this week with both coaching and commentary. How are you finding the mix between the two as we see referees Mr. Muscles, Brad Clive, and the man never short of an opinion, O'Keen Reid?
Yeah, I'll be honest, Andrew. I haven't been focusing too much on the commentary. It's been the heat of the battle for me. We had the privilege of being streamed by Whakata Māori last night, Hotopaora College versus John Paul II, the second, from the South Island. It was close, but I'm here now. My focus is here. I can't wait to watch the Southern Derby. Nelson College stacked with a lot of the Nelson Under-17 national champions. They're quite a young team, but they're here to make a name for themselves. It's quite a privilege to be commentating this one with you, Andrew.
Yeah, Nelson College champions in the year 2000. Otago Boys champions in 2014. We're just about ready to get underway. But speaking of the Single A Championships for a second, it's such a special thing, isn't it, for those small schools and communities to be able to come together as one in Palmerston North and battle for a national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It just gives us smaller schools. Just for context, if you have single sex less than 300, that's A. Co-ed, less than 600 students, then you're also eligible for the A grade. It gives us an opportunity to play at these big tournaments. I definitely think it's something that other sports should look at including. It just creates a big buzz for the schools, like for my school personally, 95 students, and we get to watch big games like this, and it's quite inspiring for the kids.
95 students, and you've managed to wrangle together a basketball team good enough to compete at the national championships. That in itself is a victory. It looks like we're going to have Nelson College in the baby blue, Otago Boys in the dark blue, as Noah McDowell gets us underway for Otago Boys. Off an on-ball screen already. Back in the high on-ball, pull up mid-range. Is short off the tupper, and the tūrapa is taken into the hands of Patrick Tippenet. Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt long, and again into the safe hands for Nelson College.
It's always dangerous when you miss the defensive rebound because you're scrambling and you can get wide open opportunities just like that. Good steal there by Otago Boys High School. Christopher Christoph, and he takes it to the basket for 2.
Number 2 isn't actually on the score sheet for Nelson College, but I have a feeling that that is James Matthews. If I'm wrong, someone please message me. You can text me, or you can find me on Instagram, Andrew_Horrocks51, and let me know if I'm incorrect. as Nelson College again and the tūrapa into the hands of Otago boys. Looking to push here.
Yeah, just another tūrapa offensively. For those at home, tūrapa meaning rebound. That they just didn't tidy up from the crashing guards, and it's generated an opportunity for both teams that hasn't been taken, but that's an area of concern for the coaches in terms of engagement to start the game.
First kuru tautukus for Otago boys, no good. Tomai, talking about best uniforms at the tournament, this Otago boys one I'm actually quite a big fan of.
Yeah, I do like the star on the O on the uniform there. It's a bit of a throwback retro vibe from Otago boys. I don't know if I'm alone on this one, but I do like the Hastings Girls High School uniforms.
I've been stuck on the show courts. I haven't had an opportunity to see that one yet, but
you've definitely been working hard, so I don't blame you there.
That's why I've got you, my eyes on the ground.
Good straight up defense there. 6 o'clock defense, hands straight up. Good verticality, great outlet pass. And that's Jack Henderson getting out there on the break and finishing.
Here is Matthews. A few numbers that are different here for Nelson College. Big kuruwhiwhi toru for Matthews. And Nelson College are on the board. Little on-ball screen there. Pull-up jump shot is short. Ball on the floor off the Papamuri. And the tūrapa again taken by Matthews for Nelson College. A lot of pride for those boys, having just represented their country, now back with their schools. As that goes through the hands, but still 5 seconds on the shot clock. Up fake, shot goes up. And off the tapa, tūrapa into the hands of Noah McDowell for Otago boys.
Interesting to see Otago boys high school in some sort of 2-3 zone there. Gives them the ability to leave Jack Henderson under the basket, and he cleaned that rebound up well.
In and out on the kuruwhiwhi toru.
Yeah, as we can see, Jack Henderson going straight under the basket, which basically confirms the 2-3 action. Good gap defense there by Otago boys.
And good shot there for Nelson. And you've got to be happy with that as a coach, don't you, Tomai? The decision-making is correct. It's the execution that's going to come as this game wears on.
Absolutely. Big thing about taking those open shots early in the game. While they might not always go in, it's always an opportunity to find some rhythm. The problem for Nelson on the defensive end is that they're giving up too many interior shots.
Little half-court, not so much a trap, but more just trying to slow down this Nelson College offense, make them wear down the shot clock before they can get into their movement. But a big kuruwhiwhi toru goes up, and the tūrapa into the hands of Liam Boona.
It's definitely clear to see that super coach Sam Dempster is definitely encouraging them to take up those open three-point shots. It's the way the game has gone for the last, I'd say, at least 5 years now. A lot of getting out on the break. Can't pass up those open opportunities. Eventually they're going to go in.
Great body control there from Matthews. Into bloody nose lane. Drew the 2-3 defender, the middle defender out. Open the space on the other side.
Absolutely. Slight mistake there from the top two defenders. As you said, bloody nose lane. You've got to keep them out of that middle area.
Kuruwhiwhi toru attempt is short off the tapa, and the tūrapa into the safe hands of Nelson College. At halftime, hopefully earlier, we're going to get correct numbers for you, but at the moment we're flying blind. Never ideal. And the zone still disrupting Nelson College, but great work in the post. Created the space and got under the basket for an easy two.
Managed to get into the inside of that zone. 2 trips in a row now. We'll see how long this Otago Boys High School zone defense persists.
Nice extra pass, just left it behind him. Finds his teammate off the foot. Will stay Otago ball. 6 seconds to play as subs come in on both sides.
Just a slight fumble under there by Jack. Fortunately, came off the foot of Nelson number 42. As Andrew said, we're flying a little bit blind on a couple of the numbers there. Sorry, Whānau.
Not the first time I've flown blind. Here's Matthews, I believe also a very good baseball player in the age groups. Great use of the high post there for Nelson College. Can they open it up to the other side? Go up. And the soft roll goes the way of Otago boys. Jack Henderson rose up there and grabbed that one.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed by his ability to stay vertical on defense. He's definitely well coached to use that height of his. It's no wonder they want to use him at the back of that T3 zone to anchor the defense there. Good even start to the game with 7-all. Just for a bit of context, this is a big Pool C game. Both teams haven't got off to the start they'd like to. Both teams are 0-2. Just for context, it's AA, so second and third in each pool will cross over. This pool will cross over to play the second or third in Pool A. So there's a lot on the line here. Can't afford to drop this game and expect to go through to the preliminaries.
And it's hard, isn't it? Because you want that top spot, because then you get that extra game of rest as well. So crucial for those teams that have got players coming back from Asia Cup. Tired bodies already, now trying to put it on the line for their schools.
Absolutely, Andrew. A great example of that would be All-Star 5 member Lachlan Craik coming back from to Fielding High School today. They dropped both games one against Rosmini, one against Auckland Grammar yesterday, but they were putting on quite a clinic against Hamilton Boys High School before I came to join you, with Lachlan Craik and coach's return.
They were up against Hamilton Boys?
They were up pretty clean, Andrew.
And that's huge, because in terms of tiebreaker scenarios, of Hamilton Boys taking down Rosmini College last night, it'll be interesting to see as the hara is drawn what the ramifications of the three-way tie, if all those teams end up on the same amount of points, is going to be.
Absolutely. If I'm in Pool A and to draw the second seed, looking pretty likely that you could be coming up against the full-strength Fielding High School team with Lachlan Craik and Darren Larson returning from the FIBA Under-16s. There could be a tough draw there.
I'm amazed, you know, sometimes these events, the first couple of days are non-events. The big teams flex their muscles, but it seems so even both in single A and double A. There's no easy out, no easy game, and that's what you love in a tournament.
Absolutely, and that's why I applaud the competition organisers this year for sticking with the top seed, go straight through to quarterfinal setup, and the second and third prelim off. These games are so high stake, and keeping the competition that way just keeps it interesting as a big three goes in for Otago boys.
Well, I thought that was an early kuruwhiwhi toru in the shot clock, but if you're going to shoot it that confidently and you're going to wear the 23 with pride, Noel McDowell, you got to be a shooter.
Absolutely. Big three there in the context of the game. It feels like about 5 points with how grindy it's been.
Well, it seems with these night games, last night after the first quarter was 9 apiece, and it felt like the best 9-all game I'd ever watched in my life. At the moment, this has a similar vibe to it. Matthews just dancing around the pick and roll. Kuruwhiwhi toru is up and
big
good.
Response there from Nelson College.
Look good the whole way from the commentary booth as well. The
Absolutely.
Perfect angle for that shot.
Nice touch on that. Nice backspin. Good follow through.
Here's McDowell for Otago boys. Rises, and the tūrapa to Nelson. Matthews off the on-ball skip pass. How can they find ways, Tomai, just to break down and move around this defense? And that's a pretty good way.
Absolutely. The best time to attack those corners of the zone outside the top two defenders is the moment as soon as you've caught the ball while they're in shift.
Kuruwhiwhi toru again is good, and this game is opening up. The nerves have gone.
It definitely is. I feel like I caught it there. Now they're speeding right up. But we saw both teams' guards get into the middle and then generate good shots just like that.
And we're going to have a foul, which is just going to give us a little pause in the action. Big muscles, Brad Clive making the call on that one. Nice to see he's wearing the medium shirt today, not the extra small. He was on the live stream, had to cover up for the people.
As we see some sort of zone press set up from Nelson College.
Well, some pretty smart people on both sides.
Absolutely. Of course, Sam Dempster caught into the Tall Blacks just last year as a 32-year-old. It's a wealth of experience there on both sidelines. As we can see, super manager Brent Matihai, but also Sherry Lucas, the other manager. Used to have two managers, appointed Deputy Mayor of Dunedin last week.
Actually?
Actually, just found out.
Oh my God, you've been doing your research.
As soon as, unfortunately, I lost my last game, I wanted to quickly get over it, so dug straight into a bit of research, bit of rangahau, and here we are. And a tight affair already, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Only 4 points the difference. Sorry, correction, 30 seconds. Having a few issues on the bench.
So it's going to be Otago boys, full court pressure here from Nelson. In what form will it take? It looks like it's man-to-man. Are they going to trap it all? No, they will not. Just trying to slow Otago down, waste some precious seconds on the shot clock. Soft touch, no good. And the tūrapa into the safe hands of Nelson College, bringing it up the other way.
This is the most man-on-man defense I've seen Otago boys play. We've got Jack Henderson going to the bench. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Good post defense there, causing the mishap.
Bit of a horse race here with the right hand. Drew the contact. And referee O'Keen Reid makes the easy call. 2 shots.
A lot of experience on the whistles tonight.
Yeah, O'Keen as well. His son, Jameer, playing for Rosmini College. His daughter, Tara, just won the Tuihi League with Northern Kahu. Wife, Justine, used to play for the Tall Ferns.
Fair to say he knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
So we have Oak Chisholm at the line. Can he make it 2 from 2? These free throws are huge.
Converts both of the Kuru Tautukus. And it looks like, again, Otago boys into a half-court trap. Managed to slow Nelson College down, but now they're settled in back into that 2-3 zone. That's almost a matchup, isn't it?
It is. They're definitely mixing things up, Coach Esteban. Changing the defense.
I've seen it a few times, mainly at the professional level, not so much at schools, but teams will play zone for X number of passes or seconds, as the Kuruwhiwhi Toru is good before switching into a man. A very advanced scheme, but if you can get it right,
absolutely,
it looks good.
We can at times, I feel, overcoach our kids, and then we run sets to break a set in defense, and then they change it up on you, and it's about how the players can play impromptu, what's in front of them, and how they can adjust on the fly. It's always good to watch a chess match or a game within a game.
Yeah, Guy Malloy likes to call it the play behind the plate. Just what are your principles that players can go back and rely on to create easy baskets. It can't all be a dance and a script. Jump shot is a good, beautiful finish there.
Good mid-range shot. You don't see those too often these days. But when you can pull it off, it gives you so much of an advantage. Big screen there.
Screen. And big putback, draws the hara and one. Otago boys.
That was quite a big screen. Good to see the referees letting that play on. He did look pretty set. Good physicality there.
Both teams yet to win a game at these championships. Both teams have gone down to Mount Albert Grammar. Nelson College went down to Palmy as well by 2. Otago went back to St. Pat's of Silverstream by 7. Both teams desperate for a win. And what a bucket that was. The big Kuruwhiwhi Toru.
Technically another mid-range shot. Foot on the line too.
Was it?
Foot on the line too, so 2 in a row.
The Kuruwhiwhi Rua.
Quick 2-for-1 opportunity here.
Oh, the speed!
Goaltend, and it still went in.
I thought Brad was just dancing there with the little cooking signal.
That's a big key to Nelson's success, just pushing the pace before the zone can set up, specifically, of course, Jack Henderson at the back of the zone there.
Nice little off-ball screen into the slip and roll. Big mid-range jump shot is short, but the big fella inside kicks it up for the Kuruwhiwhi. Toru, another tūrapa. What a crucial player Jack Henderson is turning into.
Absolutely.
And that's going to do it for quarter time. Otago boys up 26-19 over Nelson College.
Yeah.
Tormai, we're going to go to Nelson College first, down 7. What adjustments have you seen that they could make quickly to get themselves and erase the 7-point deficit?
Well, first of all, Coach Sam Dempster will be wishing he was out there rebounding after giving Otago Boys High School 3 shots to end the quarter. The rebounding is so important for Nelson because it gives them an opportunity to get ahead of the break before the zone sets up. Their defense really is their offense at the moment. Things will become a lot more difficult for them. They're slower, the paces.
One thing we might try to implement here, we do have Maya Williamson with us as well. If she's brave enough, when there are timeouts to come, she might go down and listen in for some coaches' thoughts and then report back to us. We do have the sideline mic available if she is interested, but as always, it depends on how many strings you want to add to your bow. It's up to you.
That's what they call not volunteering, but voluntolding someone to do something.
No, but it is great. We've had a few 3-person commentary booths going on as well. Had Brent and Miles Pearce last night, as well as Miles and then Mel Bennett. So I'm sure once Maya relaxes into this game, composes a few thoughts, if she wants to jump on the mic with us, she is always more than welcome.
My question then to you, Andrew, will be, did you manage to get a word in commentating with Miles the other night?
Miles, yes. When it was Miles and Brent, no.
No surprise there.
Just let those two go with it. But it's great when you've got people of that much experience, just sit back, have a listen to their kōrero.
A lot of NBL experience.
A lot of experience and people who are more than willing to give that experience on to the next generation.
Getting ready for a big second quarter. There was a bit of an arm wrestle to begin with, but it's things starting to open up now.
Here's Otago with the pill to start and one.
Great drive.
What a finish there from Christopher Christoph. As we have another look at it here on the action replay. Comes back into the screen. Goes at the defender and just gets the juicy roll over the top. And converts.
Christopher Christoph, of course, part of the initial New Zealand 17 boys squad. The Christoph boys have Bulgarian ancestry.
Which part of Bulgaria?
Now you're really putting my research to test now, Andrew. You really are. Oh, big steal there.
Christoph to the hoop. And just relaxing the calves a little bit there at the end.
Right on cue. As you see the zone press defense again, extended, and then dropping into a 2-3. Looks like a 2-2-1, and then they just sink back in.
Well, I think as well, you're going to see, I thought the middle player might jump up if they had that high post. Not to beat, bringing the corner man up. And no good there. Away come Otago boys. What a hairstyle this is as well. I'm follically challenged. I can't grow that. But Tomai, any thoughts of recreating Patrick Tippany's hairstyle?
No, definitely won't be on my agenda anytime soon. But when I went down to have a quick kōrero to the Otago Boys High School staff, they did want me to mention how Patrick Tippany can't decide on his hairstyle, so he's mixing it up.
What's he got? He's got like the little...
Looks like a little fade on the sides, undercut. some cornrows at the top, those two things at the front, and then almost mullet at the back. Doesn't look as braided.
Well, I have a feeling with his coaches, so long as his decision-making on the court is a bit more fluent, they're not going to mind that at all.
Yeah, he does. It actually looks quite intimidating, to be honest.
I mean, I get intimidated by a door frame, let alone a person with that hairstyle.
There it is.
So, have a look at it on the big screen. Has he noticed? Nah.
It's quite a spectacle. And then he's got the orange mouth guard as well, just really bringing the eyes into him. I think we've got some bench complications at the moment. I'm sure both teams and both coaches don't mind the free timeout.
Exactly, referees timeout. We're going to take a little bit of time. We had some school bench errors as well in the first game of this doubleheader. As we see Rosemary College below us, just finishing up their game, making their way back for some nice kai and some table tennis going on in the background. Tom Maya, you get around the table tennis at all?
Yeah, I love it. Had a table tennis table in the garage growing up, so we can see a couple of Aquinas College players. Now that wasn't table tennis. Those are some interesting dance moves, but I will say Aquinas College on-court decisions are sharp.
Absolutely, they're looking very good. Led, of course, by Money Mike Wade on Instagram.
Yep, he's Money Mike for a reason, and Big Kaimani Komoana, and of course Alex Stojkovic. They're very well coached, well drilled. You can't leave them open. Not at all. Are they in your pool? Fortunately not, but they are looking pretty sharp in Pool A. They did have a tight contest with Te Wharekura o Rua Mata. It was 69-63 going into the fourth quarter before I made my way here, so it will be interesting to see how that went. Big ramifications. The winning team of that game likely topping Pool A. Anyway, we're fortunately returning back to this Pool C action. Otago boys breaking the press there.
Little change up here. Looks like a 2-1-2 action from Nelson Boys College. Mid-range is short, but just stealing the ball. Tipani, Kuruwhiwhi Toru, no good. Rebound Nelson College. And a chance for them to chip away at this 12-point lead that Otago boys have created. Oh, what a dish. And it finally takes the contact. Just wanted to boost his rebounding numbers before he put the ball in the hoop.
Both guards now for Nelson College managing to just break down the wrinkles of that 2-3 zone. Going to have to tighten up a little bit more, Otago boys.
Using a baseline runner in this offense. Tiffany, baby hook shot, no good. And here comes Matthews for Nelson. That was electric for the young man.
As we were talking about before, their defense really is the offense. The more they're able to rebound and run, the better. Big three there.
The Kuruwhiwhi Toru from Noah McDowell is good. And it's a double-digit lead once again for Otago boys.
Nelson just not going away though. They're sticking in it. Matthews, great pass. These guards have been doing a lot of damage. No luck there.
Well, the key thing is, can they keep 2 feet in the paint? If they can do that, suck the Otago boys' defense in. Oh, what a lovely dish over the top, and the big dunk for the big fella, Jack Henderson, 38-25.
I never quite get sick of watching these secondary school players dunk, especially standing ones like that from Jack.
Not at all. I don't know if you saw Casey Nuafor's last year that he had in the semi-finals. The M1 is good.
Yes, I did see that.
As we're going to have another look here at the dunk, the first one on the show court. Little pop over the top. And no run-up needed. It helps when you're over 6'6", doesn't it?
Absolutely. I remember when I touched the rim for the first time and I celebrated like I dunked, and then coming here to watch these guys dunking like that with no run-up. Some athletes on display here at the 2023 National Basketball Secondary Championships.
Great defense there. Goes under the screen though. And Otago boys get rewarded with that extra space with a big Kuruwhiwhi Toru.
Yep, great read from Otago boys there. Seeing that the defender went under the screen. Good response though from Nelson College.
That's the best thing you can do. Score straight after giving up a kuruwhiwhi toru. Such momentum swingers they can be. And offensive screen called, right call. Jack Henderson never set his feet. And as we have another look at it here, yeah, just popped out, didn't he, to Clip Matthews.
Nelson College, number 37, may have helped him into that screen there, but hey, that's a game within a game, as we've been saying. I must admit, the guards for Nelson College have been out there for a long time. They must be well conditioned.
As we see, Matthews blocked.
Big O-board, great putback there.
So that's why you have teammates to help you out in your time of need. And almost a steal as well on the other end.
The Nelson College guards aren't exactly resting on defense. They're out there putting the pressure on as well.
Well, the zone defense at times gets misconstrued as a lazy defense, but Nelson College in this 2-3 is showing that it's anything but.
Absolutely. As we were talking about before, the ability for these teams to change their defense almost on the fly is impressive. We've seen a little bit of that from Nelson College. As we look to see what Otago run from this baseline out of bounds play. Somewhat of a box shape. Just to get a clean catch there.
Leaves it short there, and the two up into the hands of Nelson College. Still 5 minutes to play in quarter number 2. Tomai, this has been an offensive explosion on both sides.
Yeah, it's been entertaining to say the least. As that three-pointer from Nelson, just a little bit to the right, but a shot I'd be happy with as a coach. It was pretty set. What I wouldn't be happy with is
my goodness,
allowing offensive rebounds, but he raruki uta, they seem to live.
Big fella had to put that one in though.
Absolutely. Big response there by Nelson College, and even though they're down 7 points, you can hear the momentum as Otago boys call the timeout there.
Well, the speed in which this game's played, 7 points isn't very much, is it? We saw a bit of a chess battle last night with the final score at 65-64 with 7 points. Almost felt like a double-digit lead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the coaches are talking about here. I'm sure Sam will be talking about just the pace on offense, just tidying up a little bit of the defensive rebounding. Letting Jack Henderson get a couple offensive rebounds there. Luckily, they didn't have to pay the ultimate price of a dunk.
What about on the other end? How much do you reckon Brent Matahaere is starting to creep into the conversations that Otago boys are having?
I'm sure he accepted the job initially to be manager. But as all coaches do, they can't help but chip in. And I'm sure it'll be valuable advice, to say the least.
Well, when you're fortunate enough to have a two-time Sales NBL champion, it's not a bad idea, is it, to lean into that experience?
Oh, absolutely not. It's a wealth of knowledge. It'd be foolish to waste it.
As we say, good evening to the St. Kennegans boys, who I believe are just meandering around, watching a few games.
Soaking in the atmosphere.
It's a bit of a mecca of basketball. Big steal there for Nelson College.
Yep, lovely facilities. Had the privilege of managing a junior Tall Blacks camp a couple of years ago before COVID, and yes, the courts there and the training facilities and the view are absolutely superb. Coach killer there as Otago Boys High School Noah McDowell fouls on the three-point attempt.
Tomai, is that something again for you in the future to get back into, potentially? Some New Zealand age group stuff?
Absolutely. We'll never say no to representing Aotearoa New Zealand. It was a good experience for me as well, just to be around the coaches at the time. Aaron Young, Matthew Lacey. As a manager, fortunately it was cut short, but hey, just got to be grateful for the opportunity. As Nelson College knocked down the first of 3 free throws after the foul on the three-point attempt. It'll be interesting to see what kind of defensive setup they get into.
Converts the third, and it's 41-36. Again, half-court pressure Great work from Otago boys there to break it. Who's that come off? It's going to be Nelson ball.
That's the correct call from the baseline referee there. Nelson managed to get their hands on the ball, and the ball just ricocheted off the foot of Otago Boys High School.
Here's Matthews dicing, blocked.
Here come the opportunities in the fast break. Layup, put back. Of course, when you're forced to run that fast, you miss your matchup, and that's the key to rebounding, knowing who it is you're supposed to box out. Big three there by Matthews.
That's the biggest thing for me right now in the game. Nelson College, if they can tidy up those defensive boards, where Otago boys have been living on the O-glass, they could very easily be in the lead here.
Absolutely. They've fought back from down 11 points. Now it's only 4, and they've got the momentum. Good contest there on the mid-range jumper. That's a better rebound there.
Turapa into their safe hands of their guards, their workhorses. Neither have sat thus far.
A little bit wayward on the pass. Lovely handle there behind the back. Christopher Christoph, unlucky. Couldn't get that one to go.
Great take, a great step through as well, going from the left to the right side. Here is Matthews on the left side, rips and goes. Partly stripped. And a jump ball is called. Will stay the way of Nelson College. Got away with one there.
Absolutely. And if referee was half a second later on that whistle, it would have been Otago Boys transition.
Well, I don't know if you remember the show Saved by the Bell, but they were saved by the whistle.
Absolutely. We can see the line set up here from Nelson College. They got a wide open jump shot in that far corner as we're looking at it on the monitor. See what they can get from this setup.
Referees just having a little kōrero, maybe to check something that they want to discuss. Neither of them very short of a word.
Teamwork makes the dream work. They get the call they want. Nelson College with the baseline out of bounds. Line set up. Defended much better from Otago Boys. And we get the steal.
Great work, just trapping the ball handler under there, but steps were taken.
That's a good call too there. Unfortunately for Oak Chisholm, after the great steal, he just handed it back to Nelson.
Here is Nelson in the baby blues. Matthews, you feel like anytime he wants to get around that first defender, he can, such as the speed and happy feet. Therefore Nelson, and it's going to be Otago ball.
2 quick travels, one from each team. Just need to tidy up the basic errors, especially the unforced ones like that. But you're absolutely right, Andrew. Matthew's just too fast at the moment, and the help's not coming from the other zone defender.
Away come Nelson on the fast break, one-on-one with the left hand. And oh my God, Christoph, what a behind the back move.
Very smooth.
Created that out of nothing.
Nelson will want that one back. That feels like a 4-pointer after they left that layup.
And another steal, but out of bounds. Just was Ben Hoskin as a sub comes in for Otago Boys. Oak Chisholm will take a seat. And back in is Liam Boona.
Now this second quarter has flown by. 2 minutes and 22 to go. Nelson just staying in it, clawing it back one at a time.
Well, Tomo, it feels like all these days are just flying by. Feels like only yesterday that we were arriving for the opening games, and now we're really into the meat of the tournament. Halfway through the single A's, almost a third of the way through the double A's.
As you know the saying, time flies when you're having fun. Big steal there from the Nelson College guards. Yes, that's another travel. Good call, very sharp, very astute from the referee there.
Well, both teams have had to come so far to get here. They thought, why not just travel a little bit further?
Absolutely. Hey, we've seen a lot of mid-range shots, a little bit more than usual this first half. I think we need to bring back the 2-foot jump stop. Since we're talking about some fundamentals.
2-foot jump stop. Fundamentals. I know Maya Williamson's a big fan of the fundamentals down with the Gators Club and Middleton Grange. Up the Gators.
Definitely a good way to break down their 2-3 zone once you've got in the middle. A lot of players these days will go straight up and they put a timer on the amount of time they have to pass the rock. But if you put that 2 feet down, big three there.
The kuruwhiwhi toru is good.
Noah McDowell, massive three. Extends the lead back to 9.
Matthews to the hoop and draws the hara. What an athlete James Matthews is.
Now, we've already spoke about his speed and agility, but I don't know if I've seen him go back to the bench. So that's a testament to his stamina and probably Coach Sam's conditioning drills.
Yeah, well, he's got the bald bucket himself at Nelson College. Then for representative basketball, he's got Phil Jones. So 2 great minds keeping him on the straight and narrow as he converts that one. Subs in for Otago boys. Allows Nelson College here to set up their 1-2-2 3-quarter court press.
Goes without saying that both Sam and Phil are a big reason why Nelson basketball is growing rapidly. Nelson winning the under-17 boys nationals for the representative age grade.
Oh, what
Great
a skip pass to the corner.
Great cross-court pass there. Left hand too, across the body. 1 minute to go here in the second half. Let's see what Nelson can do. They've been grinding away.
Great kick. Here's Matthews. Kuruwhiwhi toru.
Big
good.
three by Matthews. And just better footwork there as well. Didn't have to rush getting the pass off.
I think they heard you, Tomai, with the little 2-foot stop as the layup's no good. Nelson, a chance here for a 2-for-1. Matthews, oh my goodness.
He lost the ball and regathered it in the same stride. Managed to put a shot up. He's got the opportunity to cut the lead to 3.
Producer Rich has already clipped that one as we have another look at it. So he almost like threw it to himself to go get. And Otago boys created the contact, which means Matthews is going to shoot 2. Chance to make it a 1-possession game here with 42.4 to play. Quarter number 2, day 2 of the boys secondary school national championships.
And as you said, Andrew, they really did push the pace there to generate the 2-for-1 opportunity. Let's see what they can do with that. If they get the free throw here, I'd be surprised if they don't go to that pressure defense. They'll be looking one stop and taking the last shot as he cuts it to 1 possession.
Yeah, well, Otago might be looking for a 4-for-3 here.
2-2-1. Probably going to drop into a 2-3 here, as they do.
Are we going to see a quick shot? We will. Christoph trying to travel through. Can't do so amongst the trees.
And Nelson, just great resilience here. All half.
Can they tie this one up? Kuruwhiwhi toru. Big arc. Big heart. Left it short.
Possibly could have got a better shot there, but they'll look to back it up on defense.
Otago boys' final shot here of quarter number 2. Man-to-man defense here from Nelson. Steps through and good. And that'll count. So after 2 quarters, Otago boys 50, Nelson College 45. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be back with the second half.
Utonu mai.
I just want to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for taking the initiative and supporting schools like ours.
It's really important they have that outlet to come to kura for another reason other than curriculum, and for some reason in our water our kids just breathe sport, and having that resource here makes life that much more enjoyable and they can keep doing what they're good at.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport is hugely beneficial.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
We had to make sure from the beginning, yep, this is what we're going to do and we're going to go all in.
And there was us.
So I was so determined to have this pepe.
Puro baby. Ki whakaata Māori me Māori Plus.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through a tough time. It's a real privilege, but you know, for us, we want to see others get involved in this. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
Hey, sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
The bait is over.
What I can almost guarantee is there's going to be some good fish here today.
Tuna in every 2 days.
I was pretty excited actually. Went from 0 to 100 real quick.
For a real good time.
All guns blazing.
Oh.
Yeah, my technique, it was mean. Not.
Get in the water, please. Wild 2 day. Ki whakaata Māori.
Another day in paradise.
Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena in Palmerston North. Andrew Horrocks alongside Tomai Hapongo. And at some point, we might get Maya Williamson as well on the mic. But Otago boys up 50-45 over Nelson College. Tomai, what have you taken away from the first half of basketball?
Otago boys keep extending the lead to about 11 points, but Nelson just won't go away. Both teams mixing it up a lot defensively. For me, it's about who's controlling the glass and getting out and generating shots before the zone gets set up. Kind of repeating that ad nauseum if you've been with us since tip-off, but sometimes it is that simple. They just need to get out a bit earlier, control the backboards.
Yeah, sorry, we're not quite bringing the energy that Ben O'Brien-Leaf has brought to the commentary booth over the first 2 days, but we're giving it our best. It's 6 days. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And so I feel like Otago boys have been the ones that have controlled the glass, especially offensively. We don't have live stats with us, but Tomai, I'd have to say they've got at least 10 points from put-back layups off missed shots.
Yeah, definitely at least. I'd say about 10 points, but I'm more concerned with the open shots that have followed offensive rebounds that Otago boys have corralled in. Some open threes, of course, generated from those offensive rebounds. And Nelson, I'll be honest, probably haven't paid as much as they could have in terms of points allowed, but I'm sure both coaches would have talked about that in the break.
The most impressive thing for me has been the speed. I mean, day one, it's always a little bit nervy trying to feel the tournament out, but both of these teams are now in the full flow and speeding straight ahead.
The Nelson College guards, to my knowledge, played the whole game at breakneck speed, and they look fresh. They look fine.
It's these athletes and their strength and conditioning programs these days. It's a bit better than when we were at school. Here is Otago boys as we hear the defense chant for Nelson boys.
Great play there. 2-3 zone buster.
But what a finish from Liam Boomer.
Esteban will be happy with his team's execution there.
Have you done much coaching at all with Esteban before?
Never.
Matthews is good. The Pakite himself from Nelson.
But obviously, Otago didn't qualify last year. And Esteban has willed the team here as commander-in-chief.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that you almost feel are mainstays as the putback is good for
Absolutely.
Nelson College. I mean, this year, some big shocks, especially from the northern region. No Westlake boys, no Rangitoto College.
Those two uniforms, the red, white and blue pinstripes and the green and red of Westlake, almost part and parcel with this tournament, Andrew.
Well, I think it's the first time this century that both teams haven't been here.
I wouldn't bet against you there, and it's just crazy to say any stat that has century in it, but yep. Big three there by Nelson College.
Big words, little meaning. Here come Otago down the other end. And if the speed was something in the first half, I feel like it's just picked up and become more electric in the third quarter.
Great verticality there from Nelson College. We spoke about it quickly before we tuned back into the second half, but we've seen some offensive rebounds given up by both teams already.
Such a key thing. Almost shook himself out of his own boots on that one. 4 on the shot clock. Step back, Kuruwhiwhi Toru in and out. And the tūrapa to Liam Boomer. Away come Otago boys.
Christopher Christoph almost too engaged on defense there. Left the shoes for a little bit.
And apologies to the people at home. I got too caught up with the conversation with Tomai and Maya Williamson. I didn't go down and check the numbers of Nelson College. The numbers on the uniform do not match the numbers on the sheet in front of us. So apologies to the parents and the families of the young players who want to hear their sons, brothers, sisters, grandkids, his names on the live stream outside of James Matthews. Don't have any other names, but here they go.
I guess now will be the opportunity to plug some of their young players. Nelson College have 6 year 11s in their team and 1 year 10. Rihare Tanoa. 4 members of the national under-17 winners. Rico, Robbie, Adam and James. And Charlie Keane, who wants to let the nation know that he's repping Mapua, born and raised. So although we don't have the numbers for you, those tuned in from Nelson, there's your plug there. They're playing well. You'd be proud of their resilience.
Tomai, you're doing my work for me, my friend. This is why we got you in the commentary booth.
Well, there's a slight difference. I'm here for a short time, not a long time, so I could focus on one game where I look over to the commentary itinerary and I can see your name about 15 times. So you're a busy man. I can excuse you.
I would love one opportunity to do a one-off game where I can just focus fully on it. Haven't you got the opportunity? Still waiting for producer Rich to get in the ear of Casey Frank, maybe for some Sal's NBL or Toihi League in 2024.
Keep up the good work, man. I'm sure it's only...
Oh my goodness, that was in and out.
Around the corner. That
no,
three
Tomai,
there that went around the corner.
You might be in there before me, the way that you're going.
I'll never say no. Before you, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but I appreciate the kind words. Big three there, just a little bit short.
Away come Nelson College again at this breakneck speed. Trying to really push the ball. Good job there from Otago boys, trying to keep it on the same side. Finally the reversal. Short there on the Kuruwhiwhi Toru. Off hands, Otago Bulls ball. Otago boys ball as called by referee Bradley Clive.
Loving seeing that big man matchup. Number 42 from Nelson College and number 10 from Otago boys, Jack Henderson, just battling for the rebound there. Now, although Nelson didn't get the offensive rebound, they did force a tip outside, which does allow them to set up their defense.
Yeah, that's almost, it's a minor win, isn't it? It's like when you use a scratchy and you get another free go.
It's a great analogy. So we're in this zone, Nelson College. They're not going away, down 3 points.
Please always gamble responsibly. Kids, ask the bill payer first. Deep Kuruwhiwhi Toru. Off the back tapa and the tūrapa into the hands of Matthews.
This might seem irrelevant, but that tip that forced the ball to go out of bounds allowed them to set up in their zone, which disrupted the Otago boys' offense, and therefore they had a good defensive trip there. Now their chance to respond. Left hand off the glass and it rolls in. 1 point game.
This is what you wanted at 7:30, a game to keep you alive. Daylight saving can make you feel a little bit drowsy in those first couple of days, but this is waking the brain back up.
Absolutely, and so does that big three from Oak Chisholm in the left corner right in front of Sam Dempster and the Nelson College bench. As you said, it can get a little bit tiring. There are a lot of games on every day at 7:30. We don't all have the energy of Ben.
Oh my goodness, that man is an Energizer bunny. Here comes Chisholm for Otago boys. Feel like they're just a little bit out of rhythm offensively.
Absolutely. But 2 big threes is the great equaliser. Sometimes when your offense isn't exactly running how you'd like it, a wide open 3 can just erase all the errors.
Nelson College trying to answer there. Yeah, the defense just sagged a little bit, didn't they, on that dribble handoff, allowing the space for the Kuruwhiwhi Toru. Oh my goodness, Chisholm. Is that an alley-oop?
He's going to ask for the assist there, 100%. Great awareness from Jack Henderson to put that back.
And a travel is called. And a big momentum shift at the moment for
absolutely
Otago boys.
We were just talking about how disruptive the Otago boys high school offense looked, but 2 threes back to back, and then that, we'll call it an alley-oop, and the 1-point lead is now back to 9. If the rest of the game is anything to go by, Nelson College won't be giving up. They've fought back from 11 to bring it to 1. They're down 9 at the moment, but I'm sure the team will be dialed right in to what the coaching staff have to say to make the necessary adjustments, to make the next counterpunch. 5 minutes to go, 4:45 left in the third quarter. Te hauwha tuatoru o tēnei tukinga. This big game with big ramifications in Pool C. Both teams looking to get their first win and keep their preliminary hopes alive.
Well, such strong programs. As talk about a meeting of the minds there. Mason Lepo, Miles Pearce and Natu Taufale of the Manawatu Jets. No doubt keeping his eye on some of the young talent that is going around.
Absolutely. But I'm going to step in here as a Palmerston North local and just say, please keep Lachlan Craig. I hope his eyes are there first and foremost. Keep the young guy here.
Well, the Jets doing a wonderful job in season 2023, surprising people with a few more wins.
Absolutely.
Packing out the stands as well. The people, the community are behind the team.
The community always shows up to support the Jets. Actually, I know Natu's trying to keep Lockie. I should be talking to Miles. Keep your hands off Miles.
Here's Nelson College up against the zone. Matthews, little drive and kick. Step through and finish.
Great finger roll there off the footwork.
Just that body control, not to try and slip the other foot forward and call a travel. And looks like man-to-man defense here from Nelson College. Tippity, they go under. Can't do that on the man. He's a pakite. Kuruwhiwhi Toru.
He might not know what haircut he likes the most, but he definitely knew he wanted that 3-point shot.
10-point lead here for Otago boys. Matthews again just dicing that defense. And I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing just a 45 cut there on the weak side.
Absolutely.
Try and find another lane as Otago boys blocked by the rim.
Good discipline on defense there from Nelson.
Here comes Matthews, 2-on-1 to the hoop.
Way to get to the hoop.
And that's what they need, isn't it? Those easy transition baskets to bring back this Otago boys lead to 8.
It did feel for a couple of minutes there that Nelson were just trying to respond to the Otago boys high school threes with threes of their own. Just need to keep doing what they're doing and stay disciplined. Good defense there. Or can't give up baseline when you're in that zone, but he gets helped. Just a bit too late on the rotation, and it's a massive and one.
Nothing like a three-pointer the old-fashioned way. Been impressed with young Oak Chisholm.
Absolutely. He's got the opportunity now to convert a three-pointer of both sorts. One from the field, and now the opportunity to convert an and one.
Was a member of the Otago under-17 boys team in 2023. Don't forget as well, next week we've got the under-13 regional tournaments around the country. I know the events team is crazy busy trying to fix draws.
Fancy ball handling there from the guards, just a break straight through the zone and then a nice floater.
Big shout out to Jay McDonald doing the mahi in the office at the moment. Christoph floats. Nelson ball.
As you were just quickly speaking about the under-13 nationals coming up, so without a doubt that a lot of those players will find themselves at this very tournament in only a matter of time.
Well, it's all part of the pathway, isn't it? The under-13 regionals used to lead to players selected for the under-14 national camp, of which James Matthews' age group was all a part. Hayden Jones, Oscar Goodman, Jameer Reid. Such a talented group.
Absolutely. Almost stole the Asia Cup final.
He could have done it as well.
Could have done it. It was a back and forth affair the whole game, eventually only losing by 3 points. Oscar Goodman and Lachlan Crate making the All-Star 5.
Got to feel that they're out for revenge, aren't they? Come World Cup next year.
Absolutely. He who laughs last laughs loudest.
And away comes young James for Nelson, puts it up. Shout out as well if you're listening, Hugh Bainan, who was assistant coach for their under-17 Nelson team. Doing a wonderful mahi this year for the Tasman Marcos as well. Multi-talented man.
Absolutely.
Have you read his book, Boiling in Black?
I'll be honest, I've been forced to read a lot of books this year as I complete my teacher training, so reading for joy hasn't really been on my agenda this year, but it's definitely something I'll be looking to purchase at my local book provider. As we see the books back screen there over the summer holidays coming up.
Well, no doubt if you keep your mahi around all the tournaments, you might even get it signed by Hugh Bainan himself.
Oh, that'll be lovely.
Nice little Christmas add-on, wouldn't it?
Great dump-off pass there by Patrick Tsipine. As Jack Henderson fumbled it at first, but that's irrelevant now as he puts it off the glass.
Took the contact as well in the back. And 12-point lead here, Otago. Boys, gambles does Christoph. But a big block from Henderson, and away come Otago boys.
Big back-to-back plays there by Jack Henderson.
Well, you've always got to help a brother out, don't you? And that's what they found at the rim, even though Christoph gambled and didn't come away with it. As he's finding a way to dice through this defense, and again, Patrick Tsipine is having issues with his hair, but he's having no issues with what shot he wants.
Maybe we're just living in the Stone Age, and that's just something that's cool these days. I'll never know.
Well, I have no hair, so I'll never get out to live my dreams, but it's good to see the young man giving it a go.
I'll be honest, I did have a quick, I did come across your Facebook, Andrew, and I did see you playing at St. Andrews recently.
Yes, yep.
So you are living some dreams. Big response there from Nelson. 13-point game. I'll be honest, Otago boys haven't really been running their stuff as good as I know that they can, but they've just been hitting their shots from the three, and it's a great equaliser. I've seen at least 4 off the top of my memory. Can they make it 5? Great kick-out pass to the corner.
The Korowhiwhi Toru, in and out. I mean, we talk about styles of play, and we'll talk about it at quarter time as we wind down this third quarter. That's blocked, and time will expire. But Tomai, you get to international events, and sometimes New Zealand can be found wanting on the three-point shooting front. So it's good to see young men and wahine being confident to shoot it and converting it. It helps offensively for your team. It also helps our defenses to stay honest and learn to respect shooters. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Absolutely, and to be honest, I think that starts with a lot of our coaches, especially in the schools and in the younger grades. I think a little bit early on, some of our coaches might be focused a little bit too much on winning, so they'll drive in and prevent certain players from shooting, where I think our coaches should be praising good decisions from our players, which sometimes means taking the open shot. And with experience, the shot comes, and eventually that translates onto the international level.
Well, I've been having some discussions with people in the commentary booth. I've been speaking to both those two. I've been speaking to Dylan Boucher about if you could change one rule. If you were FIBA CEO, Tomai, what would you change about basketball?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I love the game. It would be hard to coach if I didn't. So it's not something I've spent too much time thinking about, but we did see Miles Pearce on screen, and he'd be hating that I talk so much about the three-point line. If he was out there on the court, he'd be demanding it on the block.
Well, great close-up there from our camera crew of Patrick Tippany's shoes that he's got on, and they are plated in gold, just like his gym shot. If there's one thing I'd love to change, can you talk about that development aspect of coaching and how can we set up our competitions to ensure we're getting maximum development? Under 13s and under 15s, if you can't play man-to-man, I would ban any zone pressing, and I would bring in defensive 3 seconds to help our...
Fair enough. Absolutely.
Defenses move around a bit more.
There's definitely points that I struggle to argue against, and it would force our athletes to defend on the ball a little bit more.
If you've got any ideas on how you would improve basketball, please email Catherine with 2 N's and a K at the start at basketball.nz. She'd love to hear your feedback on all things basketball. Matthews out of the corner.
Great play drawn up by Supercoach Sam.
The bald bucket passing on his knowledge.
I'll stick to Supercoach. I'll stick to Supercoach. You have that nickname.
Hey, when you're follically challenged, you've got to stick together. The bald brethren.
Staying together. Kind of like Nelson College right now. They just won't go away. Biggest deficit was being 13 points.
Big block. And Tippany again. I don't know if he was hit by a hand there or just his hair whipping in his face.
Good no call there by the referees. I do think Jack Henderson was set.
What a big screen it was, but no chocolates for Otago boys there. In a way, Nelson College.
They settle it down, see what they can run. They go into a 3-2 offense, obviously to counter the 2-3 that Otago boys is running.
What was the call there? I couldn't quite see O'Keefe's signal.
I saw 5
seconds?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Not a call you see very often?
Very rarely. I almost forgot about it.
As we have another look at it here, and yep. Right call.
And they mismatch these referees.
Not at all. I've actually been extremely impressed with the standard of refereeing at this tournament thus far.
Absolutely, and even though I just lost a close game, I'll admit the refereeing was very good.
This foul's called there from Big Muscles, Brad Clive. And that is going to be the... Oh, it's deemed shooting from the referee. And a little bit of slipperiness on the floor after James Matthews took that big collision with Jack Henderson.
We can see a bit of time coming down off the clock at the moment. I'm sure that they'll reassess that, have no worries. They're just making sure the court is nice and dry, nice and safe for the athletes. As the impressive Christopher Christoph takes the foul line.
I feel like this is no longer meant to be happening in terms of the clock as Christoph converts the first Kuru Tautuku. Yeah, that's still running.
I'm definitely sure it should not be running right now. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I have confidence that they'll rectify it.
It's a conspiracy theory. We lost about, what, a minute?
At least. I was about to talk about how there was not many fouls in the first minute and a half, and now it's been 2 minutes and a half.
Well, you can see the clock has actually stopped and restarted again. But something to think about. Is time going to get put back on here? We shall see. Doesn't look like it.
Now, I'm going to show my hand again here, Andrew. But it says fourth quarter on our monitor.
Yep.
Are we in the fourth already? Is that how good the game has been?
That is how good the game has been.
Wow.
You said it before, my friend. Time flies.
Especially at this level, the double A.
Christoph with the pakete.
So sharp.
It's just such a hard tournament to get to. Both single A's and double A's, but you know, you used to see familiar names at the top of the tournament year in, year out, but now it feels like anyone's game particularly in 2023. 2022, I didn't get that feeling. It didn't quite feel the standard. First year back after COVID. But this year, everyone is sharp. The X's and O's are diced to perfection.
And as you said, first year back post-COVID, we don't really get to see which schools we're developing in 2020 and 2021. And then you get schools like Opukanke and Central Southland College and the A boys churning up.
Oh my God, James Matthews.
Massive three.
The Kuruwhiwhi Toru. He has not lost any sharpness on that plane home from Doha.
Definitely hasn't lost any stamina either.
How they've played that entire tournament and come back and played this many minutes this sharply.
It might say so much about the pace that they were playing at over there. They come back here and it might be just a touch slower, even at the breakneck pace that it's been played at tonight.
I run 2K these days and I'm puffed. Kuruwhiwhi Toru.
Number 27, Nelson College. Now that breathes some life into the attack. 9-point game. With
Time
6 minutes to
is
go.
definitely not the issue at the moment. Now, what's the discussion here? Is it the clock? If we have another look at it, off the on-ball screen to the hoop, and he didn't signal foul.
No, he didn't, and the hand almost looked like it went up simultaneously to the contact. So it'll be interesting to see what the referees come up with here.
And it looks like they're trying to put time back on the clock as it now starts winding down again.
Good to see that they're just doing their due diligence. As the kiwaha goes in te reo Māori, ko e tunu huru huru. It's always best to take time, make sure things are done meticulously.
Tomoe, have you noticed that the man management from the referees has been better this year in the game, to your coach? I felt that they've taken a bit more time to explain their decisions both to coaches and players after they've made them.
And from a coach's perspective, it's always good just to get that little bit of clarity. Big response.
My God, Matthews again.
Otago boys run a textbook baseline out of bounds play to get a layup. And then Matthews just steps up at the top of the key and knocks out a massive three-pointer. 7-point game. 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Defense chance begins for Nelson, and that's going to be their ball.
These guys from Nelson College, they really have impressed me. And if they are two of the year 11s that the team told me about before, we could be looking at a very strong team for years to come.
Matthews splits the double up the top, loses the handle though, away comes Chisholm. And to the hoop as he slams into the basket support. Here's Matthews again, looking to right that wrong. Blocking foul is called. It's going to be baseline ball. Nelson College down 9, 5.5 to 5.25 to play. Plenty of time. No need to rush anything. Plenty of quality positions to come from both sides.
We can see another South Island AA boys team just beyond the baseline there. St Thomas of Canterbury.
Defending champions from memory. No. Christchurch wasn't, was it? What? Yes, Christchurch won last year. I get them all mixed up.
Yes, sorry, I was just wondering if you meant zones or last year's national. No, Christ College were quite strong in that final versus Rosmini last year.
They shut Rosmini down almost with ease. A dominant performance. Hadn't seen a final like that in a long time.
Absolutely not. And even when the finals might start off as a bit of a blowout.
Oh my goodness.
Massive dunk.
Jack Henderson rises all the way to the top.
And that'll undoubtedly send a pump of momentum through the defense at the moment.
Matthews looking to dance, wants a partner. Ball slipped out a little bit.
Put back there.
A worthy finish there. That's what they need, isn't it, Nelson College? How can they create some easier touches around the basket? It feels like the guards are trying to do too much at the moment as Otago boys dice.
That was a good shot there. The Otago boys high school squad won't be upset at that at all. Nelson on the other hand are going to have to tighten things up.
It just feels, isn't it? Matthews is maybe trying to take it into his hands a little bit too much.
It just needs to Just needs to let the game come to him. And here's the replay of the massive dunk by Jack Henderson. Pick and roll, one dribble, elevates, finishes.
It was a perfect slip, wasn't it? I mean, as a coach, you always teach, as soon as you create that contact to roll, he did that to perfection.
Absolutely. Lovely tap and go screen there. Big contest. Another tip.
And we're going to see a foul called. That's going to be number 2 on Otago boys. And you almost wonder, Tomai, Nelson College, the points differential at the moment, do they try and burn a couple of fouls just so when it comes down to the crunch time, they're able to stop the clock, send Otago boys to the line so they can get the ball back?
Not the worst idea at all, Andrew. We'll see what they can generate. This play, a wide open 3. They take it. Why wouldn't you? No luck there. What's the call there? Foul against Nelson. So it'll be Otago boys' ball. They're up 9. They'll just be looking to look after the basketball now. Generate good shots every trip.
And it's going to be the Toru Hara that has been drawn.
We can see the namarima being held up by our lovely volunteers. The sign that one of the Nelson College players has been fouled out.
His day has done. What a duty of care he has upheld. Away comes Tipene for Otago boys, trying to find some open space, getting harassed. And called for the foul, slid through the Nelson player to get the ball.
He's not short of effort there.
I'll tell you what, there hasn't been a lot of subs on either side. Both teams somehow from the depths.
Absolutely, that's a sign that both coaches are aware of what's at stake. They need to pretty much go through unbeaten from here.
My God,
big floater.
What a teardrop that was from the heavens as he dropped it in.
Plenty of time to go, 7-point game. If you were tuned into Court 5 last night, unfortunately my team was down 7 as Otago go up 9 with 2.5 to go, but we managed to pull it back. Nelson College obviously in the AA boys, another level. They can look to do the same here. Unfortunately, Matthews catches his own block shot, but he had just his left foot on the line. Here's the replay. Lovely move. Good defense there. But he regathers the rebound as we go to a timeout.
Well, it was a tough one for Matthews. His reaction speed was actually so great that he caught it.
Absolutely. It's just natural reactive.
Under 3 minutes to play here. Otago boys have taken a timeout. Tomai, do you reckon they're just trying to tell their players, hey, look, let's try and work maybe at least 15 seconds off the shot clock each possession and then try and look for a shot?
Yeah, they'll be, as Zico Coronel would say, they'll be looking for iPhone, what is it nowadays, 13s. He'd use phones as an analogy for shot selection. It'll be no broken iPhones and no Nokias. Strictly wide open shots. The more time off the clock, the better, but not at the expense of passing up on good shots.
I'm such a fan of Zico-isms. And you can tell, Tomai, it's been a few years since he gave that to you, because we're now out with the 15.
Yes. Actually, I just guessed 13. When he was telling me that analogy, it was actually iPhone 10.
It would have been the iPhone X, wouldn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I've had the same phone for years. They're all the same to me. Sorry to the Samsung users out there. It wasn't a good shot in Zico's book when he had used the Samsung.
Sorry, not sorry.
9-point differential. As you said, both coaches have been pretty tight with the rotation, so half of that timeout will be used as a breather. Just a reset for the last 3 minutes of action.
Lots more pressure here from Nelson boys. A bit more frantic, trying to create something, and they do.
Well done, Nelson boys. Great zone press there. They're going to need to do that to generate just a few more extra possessions.
Matthews trying to slip through. Kurufifi Toru, up fake, and just got stuck there. Needed to come to that 2-foot stop, Tomai.
Yeah, and the referees aren't missing that. They've been sharp all night. He mihi nui tēnei ki ngā kaiwawao. It's always a hard job refereeing. There'd be no game without them, so big mihi to our referees here at the tournament.
Very high on-ball set for Christoph. Comes back again, a third time around it to the corner. Tipene, no hesitation. And it leaves that one short. But we'll forgive him because he's made plenty tonight.
Yeah, Christoph won't be happy with his pass there. Pachitipini had to corral that into the shooter's pocket. May have had an effect.
Matthews finds the
Great
big man.
pass.
Oh my God, what a pass. 7-point game, 2 minutes to play. Otago boys with the ball and the lead. Trying to bleed this game out. Nelson trying to quicken it up.
Nelson McDowell doing a great job in that stance, just protecting the ball, making sure the guys set up and take a mid-range. We don't see too many of those.
Such a tough look for Christoph. Would have been on the Instagram reel, you would have thought if he'd made that one.
Absolutely, that would have been picturesque, but I don't think he landed as well as he would have liked.
Matthew, oh my goodness, in and out, and the finish. Clock stops as well.
5-point game, pressure's up. Minute and a half. There's enough time there.
Oh, I thought Matthews was going to go there for the intentional foul.
I was waiting for his guard partner to go over and double team while Noah McDowell was still back court. That's the prime opportunity. You can't pass back court.
And Christoph limping off the floor. Hopefully nothing too serious. Might just be cramped, or might these games that come back to back to back can catch up with you.
Well, I'm absolutely hoping so. He's been critical to Otago Boys High School success tonight. Big reason why they have the lead coming into crunch time.
Chisholm around the defenders and converts.
Euro step, right hand. A little bit of touch off the glass to put the lead up to what says 6 points.
And the bald bucket not very happy with this one. But 6-point game, minute 08 to play. Both teams, sorry, 8-point game. Both teams still with one timeout left. Plenty of action to come here on Whakata Māori. Don't forget, of course, our sponsors, Bailey's Molten, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Caltex Apollo Projects, and New Zealand Community Trust. Tomai, how many players in the last minute do you have that are in your pocket? How many do you like to just flick through to check if it's the right one for the situation?
Usually have a couple designed to get a good look at the hoop. And of course, sometimes there's going to be situations where you do need the three. We were fortunate enough that one of them paid off last night against John Paul II. I won't go into too much depth just in case we need to use one of those again tomorrow in a must-win game to advance out of the pool stages. But I'm sure...
I've seen that a few times. Every coach gets very cryptic as soon as I start pressing them for a little bit more information on the X's and O's.
I'm pretty sure both coaches at this level, Esteban, Sam, will have something.
Well, if Esteban doesn't, I know Brent's got a very deep pocket of plays. As again, Nelson College needed a basket there. 89-82, we've had another score change, sorry, another point taken off Otago boys.
I think that might be correct.
It's not point shaving. Lots of pressure here from Nelson boys.
Good keep away from Otago boys.
And a good shot here, Tiffany Tenney ice it. In and out, and Matthews is going to have to put on the afterburners.
There was almost offense to perfection there.
Oh my goodness. Offensive foul.
Offensive foul, and that's 1 foot in the door for Otago boys. Can't fold his effort there. He's been sharp all night.
Let's have another look at here on the action replay. Right call.
Patrick Tipene put his body and his 3 hairstyles on the line there.
That's why he wears the golden shoes.
And the bright orange mouthguard, just to let everyone know that he's safe. Keep away again from Otago boys. We're going to have to see some pressure coming. Maybe a blitz here from the big. Exactly that. And he gives away a block.
Had to use the foul there. That's the 5th one.
Absolutely. As you alluded to a bit earlier, they had to progressively foul just in case they were in this situation.
Might have needed to do it, though, a couple of possessions earlier. It's a lot of time in the last 2 possessions that Otago boys have been able to bleed off this clock. As he is long on the first Kuru Tautuku.
Obviously, Nelson will be hoping for another miss and it'll be out. And almost can say they'll be looking for a 3.
Right, here we go. No timeout taken from the bald bucket. Sitting down the end of the bench, looking a little bit dejected. They need to put it up quickly to the hoop. Little floater. And rebound Otago boys.
Otago boys pull down the board.
And good gamesmanship there from Nelson College. Gonna get the steal. And so full time here, Otago boys 90, Nelson College 82, Tomai Hapongo. How'd you feel after that, taking in that one?
Well, I think Otago boys just generated more consistent shots, and obviously in the third quarter they found a little bit of heat from three. They managed to keep their lead. For the Nelson supporters that have tuned in, be proud of the boys. They were resilient the whole game. But Otago take the treat tonight. They get their first win of the tournament. They keep their preliminary hopes alive.
And so we are done and dusted here on the show court. From myself, Andrew Horrocks, my partner in crime, Tomai Hapongo, producer Rich, and everyone involved. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to be back tomorrow at the slightly earlier time of 10:45 with Napier boys versus Rotorua boys. Until that time, have a lovely evening. Look after yourselves and see you tomorrow.
Hea popo.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through really tough times.
Okay guys, twice to sell. You've got past as well, go to sell. Ladies and gentlemen,
this isn't about what we wore back in the day.
We're going to go now. Going once, going twice, no more offers. Sold!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
Sport is about more than just a game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
I just want to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for taking the initiative and supporting schools like ours.
It's really important they have that outlet to come to kura for another reason other than curriculum, and for some reason in our water our kids just breathe sport, and having that resource here makes life that much more enjoyable and they can keep doing what they're good at.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport is hugely beneficial.